Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. North American stock futures, little change so far this morning, coming off a very volatile Monday session. All three major indexes reversing early declines to finish in positive territory outside of the Dow. The Dow was down about 37 points at the end of the day, but the S&P adding 0.4% to a new record high close. We also had the NASDAQ up about 1% as well at the end of just a crazy session yesterday. So many individual names moving around, so much volume in this market to start this new trading week. Markets set to digest some of the biggest companies on all three indexes reporting earnings today. We'll talk about GE, we'll talk about Johnson & Johnson, Verizon reported as well. Microsoft coming up also after the close tonight. Apple, Facebook, Amazon still to come later on in the week. Tesla as well. Individually this morning, we're continuing to watch some of these very highly shorted stocks. GameStop, AMC, also BlackBerry back on the move this morning. Additional news on BlackBerry. We'll talk about that coming up. GE, as I mentioned, earnings out this morning, better than expected. J&J also reported better than expected. So lots to get through once again this morning. It's Tuesday, January 26, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. There's a look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see lots of volatility throughout the APAC region as well. 2.5% for Hong Kong, 3+% for Shanghai to the downside. Korea as well, 2+% negative territory. Let's go over to Europe, see how things are shaping up. Nicely positive here right through the European landscape. We had a bit of a negative showing here on Monday through Europe, but back to the upside here so far this morning. We'll shift over one more time, have a look at North American futures, see where we stand at this point. Yeah, little changed right now. The NASDAQ negative. We have the Dow and S&P just ever so slightly positive. TSX futures here in Toronto, 0.14% to the upside. You can see Brazil to the downside again this morning. Bitcoin, the sell-off continues, 3+% today. Both crude oil and gold slightly higher as well. It's Tuesday. Good morning, guys. What a day we had yesterday. What a day that is setting up once again today. Lots of volume to talk about here in the pre-market. Earnings to get through as well. Some of the biggest companies in the entire market reporting today.
Yeah, you got to come over here because Pepsi and Beyond Meat, guys, and coffee. Thank you, Mr. Randy. Look at Beyond Meat here, guys. Just went ham, and we've got this in the portfolio. So we're going to hit the cowbells again. I was just telling Prod here, if you're not in this market right now, then you've missed everything. So, but look at the Beyond Meat, 160 up to 184. Hello. We're going to find out some more details about that here. This is a 1 minute chart. We'll get you a daily chart in a second here, just to show you. Wow, Beyond Meat almost now approaching. I don't know, is that all-time highs? Did it hit that? Yeah, I guess it probably did. Yeah, no, I was going to say up here when it went parabolic, like we're seeing in GameStop. But yeah, look at this, guys. Beyond Meat breaking out big time. This was a beautiful breakout spot, 144. It just crashed that. Wow, for Beyond Meat, Brendan and Neil. 186, man. The party doesn't stop. And what a time to be a trader. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, if you remember yesterday, Beyond Meat was part of that, I guess, group of names that kind of went parabolic and prime. That's probably perfect timing for news like this. Sometimes you say it's going to be an exciting and crazy day, week. We already knew that with earnings, but certainly who could have imagined some of the runs? I guess, you know, for some of the stocks that we saw yesterday, you might have seen it coming when it came to GameStop. But there's so much more to talk about, I feel like today, and you know, Beyond Meat is going to be there. BlackBerry has news, and I know we're going to be covering some of these names, but there is a wealth of earnings to get to, and some names that you're going to see up, and even ones that aren't on our watch list. I know we did get like American Express in there. We threw some in to be able to get to it. We didn't talk about we didn't get DH Horton in there. That's another one that we'll be watching. But that's a monster move. It's like 2 days in a row Beyond Meat's put this kind of a move in. So wow, this market party is not showing any signs of stopping, at least at this moment. And it's in the correct names because not everything's moving. The market overall is actually flat, but you are seeing 10, 15, 20% moves. Volume everywhere, Brennan.
Yeah, to say the least. Let's have a look, guys, at the headline itself here. You can see PepsiCo Beyond Meat partnering to develop new plant-based snacks. I'll direct your attention over here. It's tough to see, but financial terms of the partnership not disclosed, guys. Obviously a big deal regardless of what the financial terms are, but worth mentioning there, the financial terms of this deal not disclosed. So plant-based snacks coming from Beyond Meat, because why not at this point? They've done pretty much everything else there is to do. Let's kick things off so far this morning by having a look at how traders here at Day Trade the World fared yesterday. Huge numbers, to say the least, coming out of mostly U.S. markets here. Yeah, $316,810 in number one there. Yeah, not to be very far followed up by number two, 250,000+. Same markets basically coming in at number two, 64, number three, some Canadian content there. OTC markets all by its lonesome there, 42,000 coming out of pink sheets. Yesterday, got to go all the way down to number 9. Hong Kong, Thailand becoming a thing on this list at least once a day. So huge numbers. We saw so much volatility yesterday. We saw so much volume yesterday and so much opportunity, obviously. Why don't we kick things off, guys, by discussing this Pepsi and Beyond Meat news. So yeah, no financial terms in this deal discussed, but huge move already for Beyond. What do we think about this today?
Because it just happened, I mean, I haven't really been able to analyze it too much, other than the fact that, I mean, I think you just got to look at the daily chart here, and that's why we talked about that 200 level there. I mean, it's a huge move, 18%. Look, I mean, the stock is not one of those heavily, I mean, it is shorts. I mean, there are shorts in the name, but that's not what that move is. It's getting into new space, and it's a new product opportunity for them. Teaming up with Pepsi obviously doesn't get any bigger than that. The distribution channels in Pepsi are monstrous. And yeah, Pepsi's made a good run of a lot of different things, and now here they go, breaking through 190. So I don't know, maybe that was a good buy there, 182, 183. I mean, forget about VWAP right now. It's going to be way off because of the volumes. But I mean, we always talk about this on the show, and it's what I look for anyway, is these little clusters. So I think 186 to 182, you can see what happens there, but we may have missed that boat. I don't know if we come back down to 182 until there's more terms released. It's not something that, it's more something that I'm going to watch and keep it on the on the radar, and maybe look at it at 10 o'clock, something like that. Because right now I think it'd be a little crazy. I mean, if you want to take it right now for a quick little scalp, that's fine. But I do know that this thing could drop right back. I mean, it was just 182 a second ago. Now it's 190. I just don't feel like risking $8 right now in this market, because that's where I'd have to get out if a 182 broke. So take that into consideration. If you want, take it, but you got to use that 182 in my opinion for right now. And here it goes, man. I mean, 194. Like
I was about to say, okay, well, you know, it just came from a 150 break. I mean, literally just came from a 150 break. You know, this weekend. Maybe 200 would provide a little bit of a cover resistance. Maybe we should be throwing that out the window if it's going to break with 50 minutes to go until the open. If this goes absolutely parabolic for some reason, and I just feel like we're in an environment where sometimes you have to expect it, I guess it's not out of the realm of possibility of just gritting the teeth and taking like a pure momentum break at 200. I can't even believe I'm saying that. But if it gets to 250, I think that's going to be, and we actually can short this for free. Here, it's on our easy to borrow list. But that 250 is probably going to be worth a look on the off chance something crazy and parabolic happens. As far as Pepsi goes, plant-based snacks are not. I mean, it's definitely a good pivot. Certainly, you know, Pepsi's going to be involved in just about everything they get their hands on. This is a Beyond Meat story most of the way here. Pepsi is a very, very sleepy stock. I do not expect crazy things to happen. If they do, watch out for it. Any shot it gets to 150. Look at how tight the range is, and I apologize for this little wick down here, but look how tight the range has been on the daily chart. It's a nice sort of gradual climb. It's a steady stock. You might get. Maybe you get a couple of bucks into the 50 period on a news like this. I wouldn't necessarily anticipate it. And the day trade 100% will not be on Pepsi. It's just not, there's no opportunities, generally speaking, outside of maybe earnings at times in Pepsi to make a trade there. But I guess we have to watch out for some crazy levels on Beyond Meat here today. And, you know, this is the type of market environment where you don't you have to be able to expect just anything could happen in terms of price movement. Like you can't sit there and say, oh yeah, well I don't think it's going to break 200 off the open. I don't think it might get to 250. Now have a plan of action if you want to trade those levels. So in the back of my mind, I am thinking about maybe 2/4 and 250 for a rollover short if it happens really, really fast into those numbers.
250, yeah. It'd be
I'm thinking like
yeah,
parabolic,
if it goes
like
nuts.
squeeze type move, and then just the first time it sees it, just get in, get out as fast as you can in front of that level.
Okay, guys, we have a plethora of earnings reports to talk about today. One that is not on the watch list this morning we'll kick things off with. Let's talk about Verizon. They did see a little bit of a down move here in the pre-market. It was the post-paid phone subscriptions number that came in a little bit on the light side. So if we are looking for something that might be a little bit negative today, I mean, it's 1%. There's a really big level down here at 57 if you go out to the daily chart for Verizon. Not an huge move, very, very light volume here in the pre-market, but possibly a negative look here.
Yeah, and if Verizon did more volume, I'd be telling you, let me just zoom my 15 just a little bit further out so you can see. Like even if you look at the course of the last week, this 57.70, where we're basically at right now, a previous top the entire week, a definite resistance. It got a breakout going into the earnings. You get a slight disappointment, and then you start thinking about, okay, well that would be an actionable trade and a break, hold that level in the morning, and then you're just working it down to, as you mentioned, Brendan, 57, which has just been sideways action. Verizon's done 170,000 shares, pre-market. You can look at the activity or lack thereof heading into earnings here, and just maybe think that the trade might be done. This probably was, if you could have had it on the earnings, I guess on the first drop and then consolidation, and you got 30 cents worth of a buffer, you got the 58 level, that would have made more sense to me. It just might be a tricky trade to put on, and it would be, I mean, if there was a list of, hey, this setup looks good, that one looks solid, I'd probably have a bunch of other ones way ahead of this just because of the volume and the opportunity that's going to be in some of these other plays. All that said, the actual look on the chart, that 57 level, the disappointing earnings, the timing, all of it does look pretty solid. Even on the daily chart, you do see some weakness here. You might even break that 57 and find support a little bit lower than that. That's what's tended to happen in the past. But otherwise, I don't know we'll be heavily trading a Verizon today either. It's just one of a host of earnings, and you have to sort of zero in on the ones that you think have the bigger opportunity, and a lot of times volume is that cue.
All right, let's move on here, guys. We'll talk about Tilray. A little bit of news in the cannabis space this morning. Big move for Tilray up, north of 6% here. It looks like it is coming back a little bit. I just had a look at the chart, but they teamed up with the French National Agency for Safety of Medicines. So this is just a supply arrangement. So Tilray going to supply France, it looks like, with some medical marijuana. So nice deal for Tilray here.
I'd say so. I mean, look, I mean, it's one of the things we talked about, medical marijuana, a little bit on the show here. And I think that that's really the place you have to be, because recreational, I know here in Ontario, of course, we talked about this again a few times, you can grow your own. And I think it's like 4 plants per person, per household, or something. I don't know if it's per house or per person or whatever, and you can keep whatever you grow, and it's a weed. So I don't think there's anything magical about that. But once you get into the medical space, that's where the real money comes in. And I think that's where, you're making deals with big companies, not with people. Again, I like the sell side for some of these plays, not necessarily the growing side. But Tilray's made a move, an acquisition. They're merging, obviously, with Afria. So, yeah, I mean, I think that I've only been really recommending. Look, one of my largest winners, I think, of all time. I mean, I was in CGC at $6 early. True Leave, I was in that, in the single digits as well. But one of my proudest moments is Afria, because Afria has just been great. They had some early deals here with some big companies in Canada. Come on, my chart's got to move, including Shoppers Drug Mart and Loblaws, one of the very first movers into the medical space. They're not moving at all, so maybe it is worth looking at Tilray again. 1824, 1880. We just talked about this yesterday. It was actually a good, I think it was actually maybe on our AMA when we asked us anything there. Maybe I can zoom this in a little bit more for Tilray. It's good because we talked about it needing to break this level, and it's just done that right now. So 1850, it needs to get above this 1850 mark. It was the bottom here a couple days ago before breaking and then retesting as low as 1550, making a base here at 17. So I think as long as we stay above this 1850, which we're not at right now, I think that's a decent spot. Oh man, I got this zoom out. I got to just push it over a little bit. This is that level that we're talking about again, 1850 right here. So there's a few different things. I'd like to see it above $20.50, but I think Afria for a day trade today, or sorry, Tilray for a day trade today, I think it's got to break that 1850 right here. And if it does, that was the top 3 days ago. It was the bottom last week. So let's look at 1850, 1860, and we'll be hitting that, right, Prad? Let's go.
Mr. President, a quick pivot for a second here, because only because yesterday it got slightly missed, and that's going to be Tesla. If you can ever say that happens, occasionally it does. We finally got that break from 860. This happened right at the open, and if you guys remember, anybody that was watching, a few stocks were moving around at the open, maybe like a GameStop or a BlackBerry. So we remember trading those. But you finally got that breakout into 900. Tesla just minutes ago, in a very orderly fashion, well, somewhat orderly fashion, just made a bit of a ramp up, 500,000 shares pre-market volume into the 895 area. So it does look like a retest of 900 coming into earnings. Well, the earnings are on Wednesday after market, so not really just yet. Coming in earnings is going to be possibly in play again today. I don't love the first time you see that round number, that would be like the time I think to fade it. I think today I would like to take a shot at maybe a potential breakout if it can take that level out, but it's on the radar for sure. I know it got missed yesterday, and there was a great rollover trade, a clear failed break at 900, and then of course we had that overall market flush, which contributed to the downpour. But we're right back here on Tesla, only up 1%, but 900 looms again.
Okay, we'll get into some of these highly shorted stocks. Once again this morning, guys, we're seeing GameStop moving, we're seeing AMC moving. Once again, there's additional news on BlackBerry that we'll talk about coming up here. But just as a general thought, I guess, to kick things off here, guys, when it comes to this group, we saw Nokia with a big move yesterday as well. I mean, some of this action that we're seeing in this market just to start this week off has been pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's been impressive. I have to somehow clear my chart here because, again, it's only showing like GameStop back to January. Like, okay, that doesn't make much sense. But yeah, I'm going to be going long on GameStop at 160 today. We'll see if it gets up there. I don't think it's going to. Yesterday's 89. Look, I wanted to bring up some key levels yesterday. Oh man, look at all these dark prints that I got to get rid of here afterwards. But we'll forget about those for right now. It held yesterday, and I don't know if we get down there, but that 70 level yesterday. This is kind of yesterday's trade. We saw it go parabolic in the morning. Everybody knows about that. I had a $40 winner. I know Neil did well on it as well. Like, I punched long, breaking this 108 or 105, whatever this pre-market high was there. It looks like 105. And then we had it like all the way. I guess it was at one point a $70 or $55 winner at one point. And then we got out on the reopen halt all the way back down here, which turned out to be good because it never traded up there again. Look, this is a broken market. You guys all know about Wall Street bets. We've talked about that over and over again. Congratulations to everybody that's been long this one. You flushed out obviously a lot of shorts, and well done, man. It's taking advantage of the market conditions, and that's exactly what's happened here. GameStop, they got better management. They got a new board member. Their Xbox, their PS5, everything's popping off right now, and they were simply left for dead. The shortable interest can't be 148% on a stock and then have some kind of tailwinds or headwinds behind it. Tailwinds, I guess, for GameStop there. And this is what happens, and it just takes off, and it takes off like crazy. So right here, guys, you could use this as a bottom. That's sort of the level I want to look at here. 86, 87, we're very, very close to that. I think it's worth a buy. We did hold that there on all of these dips before eventually breaking it on the most dramatic move. You see some halts here. Halt 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six times yesterday, maybe. That last halt brings it down to 61, and we don't see that level again. So, this makes sense to me right here. 85 right here, 85 right here. And then now today, we're bouncing off 85 again. So, I mean, the magical number today, if I hit the code word button, would be 85. So let's wait to see what GameStop does. It was very, very cheap to borrow. Again, from our brokers here at Day Trade the World, so I want to say what's up to them. I think it was a matter of, what is it, a third of a cent or maybe a cent, something like that. We got the shares. I'm going to be trading off this 85. I do, however, like BlackBerry a lot better today.
Yeah, the only thing I want to add here is there was one other halt, and we talked about post-halt trading. There was one. I'm going to read it. I like that 85 level. I'm looking at the afternoon top of 87 as a bit of a range. So 85 to 87 for me is a target area for support. If it holds below that, I think it might turn to resistance. There was this halt right off of the open, and we talk about price discovery sometimes being useful. I think it tends to be, and post-halt is a good time to do it. The opening high, so the high on the first little wick here was at 97. Now, candidly speaking, after it halted down, I was playing this to the short side originally on this rollover here, right? Like it sort of taking the chance that if it broke that 85, the floodgates would absolutely open up with a hard stop below that 97 level and then a reversal when it actually took out this level here. So that's the other thing I'm going to be looking out for in terms of if a squeeze started. Any short has to have tight stop, quick reversal level, and I'm going to be using halts hopefully to the advantage in any one of these names. I know GameStop was one that's halting over and over again, but if this happens on any other names here, I want to use these halts to our advantage. And like you, Sean, I'm actually a little surprised to see BlackBerry where it is. Currently only 7%, but it's come back like a couple of dollars here today because they actually have news, of course. There's no real news going on in GameStop other than what's happening structurally.
Yeah, I mean, the short flow, we'll talk about BlackBerry in a minute, but the short flow in BlackBerry is only 7%, so it has nothing to do with a squeeze. I just bought some sub 19 this morning. Again, what's up with these charts? Sub 19 this morning. I picked some up here. Finally, my first in on BlackBerry. I think we can get up. I mean, if I can get it out for $21, $22 today, we may do that. But I like BlackBerry, big time story, and we'll get to that in a minute. But right now, upgrades and downgrades. And oh yeah, by the way, someone asked me yesterday what was a good swing trade for yesterday, and I did say DKNG. Let's see if it's on the board.
Shocking. Yeah, on this side of things, the upgrades here, 4%. So far for DraftKings, yeah, with an upgrade price target increase. Under Armour, Colgate, and Bank of America on this side as well. Bed Bath & Beyond had a really good week last week. We're coming back to earth, I guess. 2 days in a row to the downside here for BBBY. Yep, there's BlackBerry price target decrease for BlackBerry. Fivers on here, and that Chinese stock Pinduoduo. So yeah, lots to comb through on the board today, guys.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see with some of these names that have been the high flyers, simply the price action so fast to the upside, and then valuations are going to, tell some of these firms that you need to put the downgrade on or just go from buy, hold, whatever it might be. And Bed Bath & Beyond was one of the other names that we were talking about yesterday. There were some fantastic trading opportunities here on Bed Bath & Beyond, so you can see what's happened on the daily chart. There was a big rollover simultaneously when GameStop turned around. And this is the sort of thing I want to point out here. It was when GameStop turned around that things got really interesting to the downside for some of these stocks. And having the ability to sort of pivot, because I missed the top on GameStop, I can say that there, but are able to quickly pivot into a short in BlackBerry, take out the Bed Bath & Beyond long that I had when that one was breaking out in the morning. So little things like this, I mean, these stocks are moving in concert, and we haven't even talked about that little mini, I don't know, it's overstating it to call it a mini flash crash, but that's kind of what it felt like on that headline with the second Cold War in China driving the markets to the downside. And having a plan of action for things like that is going to make sense. I think the algos overdid it there. I will be watching Bed Bath & Beyond mostly because if I see again a massive move or flush in GameStop, I'll be looking to pivot, and maybe not in BlackBerry so much as I did yesterday, but maybe in Bed Bath & Beyond if it starts to come down. You might see some people start to take some profits when one of the other ones falls.
Yeah, we actually, I was just trying to fix my level 2 here, but yeah, we actually, BBBY, I actually started, I'm embarrassed because I wasn't trading it yesterday during the show, but we actually crushed it yesterday afternoon. We just have DraftKings up there. We'll talk about that in a minute. I just tweeted that out as well. But yeah, yesterday afternoon, some of these bottoms, man, were just, like I picked it up everywhere. We picked it up here, we picked it up here, and we picked it up here 3 times in and out on a BBBY. And actually, that was one of my biggest wins yesterday in the afternoon. Talk about a short sale. A stock on sale right here. Maybe BBBY could be a great opportunity to buy once again today. Looking at 32.50 break. Let's go if it happens, boys and girls.
All right, guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you take a second, sign up for the Morning Movers watch list. We'll have a look at it right now. If you haven't done so already, take it out. We send it right to your email in the morning before we come on at 8:30. Absolutely free to you. You get all the names that are moving around in the pre-market. This Etsy is a bit of a hilarious story. We'll talk about that coming up involving Elon Musk. Interesting news on Workhorse this morning, all on the watch list. You even get nice little Kevin O'Leary video at the bottom there. So if you haven't done so already, guys, make sure you do sign up for the watch list. News to come as well on a better delivery method for the watch list in the near future. So stand by for that. We just mentioned GameStop there a little bit, guys, but you know, I mean, there is a little bit of catalyst behind this move. Again this morning when it comes to, you know, the initial move to the upside involved Chewy founder moving over to the company to sit on the board, Ryan Cohen, and then we had Citron last week. So here we go again, very active once again this morning for GameStop.
Hey, let's not hate on Michael Burry of the Big Short fame, because he jumped on that party to the long side as well. There was actually a little bit of a battle with the board and Michael Burry, and certainly that direction. But either way, there's a lot of people that were involved in this early, and you know, even just looking back, and I'm showing you the 15-minute here, just to show you the last week. It seems crazy enough, but this is, you know, showing you like $35, right? And this entire thing started. Now, really back when, you know, I believe the stock was around like 5 at a bottom, and then people were calling the value in the chat boards at around like 9 or something like that. So this has sort of been a long time coming. People are always going to talk about the short interest, and I know there's always confusion. How can it be 140% short, and then there's so much liquidity? Just you look up what synthetic long positions are, because every time you do get a short sell, someone lends their shares out, there's a short sell, a long position is created. So that's why you get a lot of this liquidity in. And the only reason I'm saying that is because you can't look at what happened yesterday, where you had that break. And look, we were trading it live. It was exciting. It was a monster move to the upside. I completely underestimated it. I mean, for me, starting at 97 and then getting in 3 times, getting out at 120, and thinking that was a horrible decision, which I think it was, to be perfectly honest. It didn't really have any real reason for that 120 exit point. It could happen again. I'm not saying it's going to, but you have to understand that it's still 4 cents a share to borrow, which it's gone from 1 last week to 2 on Friday, and then 4 cents. There's still so much liquidity. I'm not sure the full squeeze has even gone down yet. There is a major hedge fund which need to get bailed out over this. There's a lot of blood in the water right now, and just tread carefully, because as much as my initial look was to try to go short yesterday, and I managed to get out with the skin of my teeth, and I think that if we were to break 85 again today, I might try it initially. It doesn't mean it couldn't go parabolic again. And just because it topped out and turned so hard at 160 doesn't mean it would have to do the same thing. And I'm only saying that because I know people like to short, that jump in there and see that small fee and say, okay, I'll jump in front of 150 because it's not going to make a new high. That is a game where make sure the liquidity is there for you to get out. Because if you miss the top on something like that, I mean, that's the kind of thing that just ruins traders, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I've already gone over it, and you know, my levels are 85, and I just think that you got to take this long here, 95. It breaks that. Now, my charts only go back here to 7:30, because honestly, I don't really care about anything before then, and it's been working out perfectly for me. So we're going to use 95 here as a level to break longer, and I like it not just because that's the random level here that's been the high since 7:30. It's, you know, there's some downward pressure here that kind of held. We did break it a couple times. We went down to 91, 92, but you know, yesterday, like, I had that $40 winner, $50 winner on board, as you guys know, a couple different times. And if you're not willing to risk that much downside, obviously not $40 or $50, but you can't get in and out of this thing for like $1, $2, $4 loss. You have to be willing to hold this thing for a little bit more if you're going to try to make some money. So I like a 95 break, and then I think you're 85 kind of out. So we'll wait to see what happens there. I do like GameStop today for obvious reasons. We traded it yesterday, was a big stock of mine. And again, I just want to keep saying it. congratulations to everybody who's been trading this one. I'm with you guys. I'm a huge trader. Every day I put on positions in my own account, put on positions here for you, and put on long-term positions. And I did want to talk about GE. That was a recommended long-term trade that we had around $10 not too long ago, and now it's 12 today. So yeah, I'm with you guys. Congratulations to everybody that's been on GameStop, and congratulations for hopefully what's about to happen today as we look for another squeeze higher.
Yep, great report from GE. We'll talk about General Electric coming up here in a few seconds. Before we get too far into things, though, let's bring Arun in and have a look at the futures and see what levels we need to be aware of so far this morning. Positive here, Arun. I mean, there's a couple of underlying things with the Fed statement to come tomorrow to kind of keep on the back burner, but what are you looking at today?
You know, we're positive, but barely, right? NASDAQ's up 0.05%, ES is 0.2%. It's green, but we're moving. That doesn't tell the whole story, though. The market is trending to the upside. It is drifting. I would call it drifting to the upside. Keep in mind that 38.60 is a level that I've been looking at for a couple of days now. So if we can get above 38.60, I think we can initiate some longs. What I'm going to do is the closest level I've got that I can use as a potential stop is 38.20. So for me, if it gets above 60, comes back down, then risk reward ratio makes sense. And then I can find a long in there and use that 38.20 as a stop. So if we break 38.60, I've got that 38.20 as a stop for the long. If we break underneath 38.50 though, before we break 38.60, so if we go down first and we kind of stay underneath 38.50, I think there's a potential short option there as well. So a couple choices with that 38.60 mark. If we break it right now, it's a long. If we get underneath 50 first, then there's potential for a short. 38.20 will have to be the level on the long if we decide to take the long there on the break of 38.60. Keep in mind some big earnings today, tomorrow. So that's always going to be something that's going to be important as you get towards the end of the day, because keep in mind those big names also are big chunks of the index as well. So they will move the indexes along with them.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning as we head towards the open here. We'll continue along with what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. Next up on the list, AMC, $917 million in additional funding announced yesterday. We saw what followed. So yes, there is some positive catalyst here. The CEO also said yesterday that the term bankruptcy is no longer a thing for AMC, guys.
We're getting all ramped up as we sort of celebrate and stretch at the same time right there. So I was, watching this stock. It was below 5. I was a little bit like, what are these options that we have doing on this one? I'm long a $2 call, and I think I paid, I was telling these guys 70 cents for it. Last week ago for AMC. So I'm really, really super happy with what's happening right now. It did 400 million shares or so yesterday. And man, do we have it once again. So another idea paying dividends for you guys here today. And I hope you have it with us. And that is AMC, now 505. Doing tons of volume. It just broke that level. I mean, I had on here, and you're going to see this very, very quickly because, this stuff is too valuable. AMC, $5 right there. We did talk about that level. That's a no-brainer level, but it broke it. We wanted to go hard on that, but now that it's broke, we got to sort of maybe look for a little bit higher levels there. 508, that level there, 510 maybe on that dark print, on some dark pool dumps at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock there. But this is a 1 minute chart, so 505, 507. And it doesn't get any easier. Like, again, if you're trading and you're looking at names and you're watching the show, like, I mean, this, and I was showing Brendan this yesterday, like this $2 level, I mean, how much clearer does this get like on a daily? And if you're going to take a risk, that's why I bought calls. Like if you're going to take a risk, I think this is a perfect opportunity. Then we saw the fundamentals in the market, people starting to run up different stocks. Again, another Wall Street Bets name coming through right now. And yeah, we've hit this one. We've hit it good. And I don't have any reason to get out. I mean, my calls are for the end of February or mid-February. So I think we'll probably stay in this one. Whether or not we get to the September highs of 7. I got to do a little bit more work and find out when their earnings report is, because obviously they're not going to have much earnings right now. But we did see the CEO come on, I guess it was CNBC last night, and during the market open, and just talk about the fact that they're they're back for business, baby, and there's no more bankruptcy talk. They've raised 4 or 5 times since the pandemic, and yesterday's 900, or over the weekend's 900 million is just that much better, just more, cherry on top there. So 480, 480, 475, something like that on the downside. If we get blessed enough to take that, then hallelujah. We crushed Palantir on that drop yesterday. We put on our big boy pants and stood in there. We may have to do the same thing again here, 475, if we do see a drop in AMC. But hell yeah, we punched this one once again in the mouth, guys. Big time trade, big time win on AMC.
In just that time, guys, I just saw GameStop fall right through that 85 level. It just sort of tanked through 88. I mean, it just made a bottom at 82. It was just pulling back a little bit to look at the action here at that 77 level. This was where it closed yesterday. If it continues that fall, I mean, I'd look for, there was a double bottom at 65, which looks like the strongest sort of move here. Also, pay attention to this 72 half. I mean, there was a halt level here, a bit of support, and then holding up right in and around that price. It did break it at 3 o'clock, so just putting some down levels, levels to the downside that I wasn't paying attention to on GameStop before. I had 525 to 530 as an interesting top level for potential breakout on AMC. I think it did have a little bit, some trouble getting to the upside yesterday, so I think some patience with it is going to be a bit of a virtue, but looks like GameStop already on the move here.
All right, guys, lots to get through. Let's continue along. BlackBerry up next. News this morning on BlackBerry. They announced in January of 2018 they were going to supply their QNX Neutrino operating system to Baidu's autonomous driving platform. They're now saying that high-definition maps are going to be integrated into that platform. So an expansion of agreement that goes back 2 years that they made with Baidu to get into the autonomous driving sector here. So BlackBerry continuing its work along those lines.
Yeah, and this looks like this actually looks pretty gorgeous in terms of what just happened. It bouncing off the bottom here at 1850. There was an afternoon, and it called like 2:30 or so, where it turned around right that 1850 level, made a base at 1750. So I'm just writing those two numbers down as a huge support. There is, because of the momentum going into some of this name here today, you also do have that opportunity for the same type of gamma squeeze you've seen before. I'm anticipating that if, just given the fact that GameStop just pulled back in here a little bit and looks like it's going to be a bit weak, I'm kind of thinking there is going to be an actionable shot at that 1750 to 1850 area at the open in BlackBerry, and I kind of want that to be the first trade I make in BlackBerry, taking the top off and saying, yeah, I want a 2150 break for that style of a trade, for the day trade. I don't know that I love that idea when it has to travel between now and the open, and, a couple of dollars just to get there. I'll make that decision when it comes to it. I'd rather hone in on the levels that already make sense to me right down around here, and then go from there. Just noting GameStop is actually holding right now below that 85 level. So I thought we'd be above that at the open. It looks like we might have to play that a little bit of a different way coming 9:30.
All right, guys, we're going to hit the Beyond Meat, I guess, cartoon there. Is it a cow? No, it's fake meat. There we go. Beyond Meat now up 35%. I just looked at my account. We're long 82.55 on Beyond Meat. So that's my current price. I think we'll probably get out. Beyond Meat now, what a move, up 35%. Hell yeah. You know what? I don't know, man. I mean, holding some of these stocks has been amazing, but Beyond Meat, like, this is a double now in, I think, let me call up the daily chart here. This is why I'm so surprised. Yeah, basically from 120-ish down here, basically to 220. So it's not a double, but we could get there. What a move here in Beyond Meat. Like I said, I'm still sort of long from almost IPO prices up to 220. What a monster move. You still have this, that seems to be a little bit overdone, 35%. We'll see, though. I mean, plant-based snacks, don't those kind of already exist? I mean, chips and stuff. But okay, $200 to the downside now. Obviously, they're going to be looking a little more healthy. I just think that now that we've broken through that was going to be the level that Neil and I talked about. I sort of scoffed when Neil said 250, but it looks like that may come sooner rather than later. But on a downward move, you do have 200, I guess. It's kind of 198 is that top there. So I don't know. I'm not going to be shorting this one, but if the momentum does come in, I think you can probably safely short 200. Remember, there was a story like when McDonald's was going to be with Beyond Meat, and then they weren't, and then they were again. So I don't know. We'll see if the leak is correct or not, but seems like it's the real deal here as Beyond Meat just wowzers. And I know we're going to get to this again, but I've talked about, not only trading stocks in the middle of the day here, but remember when we talked about Johnson & Johnson right here at 155 and that it was breaking out? This was what, a month, not even a month ago? Christmas Eve, I guess exactly a month ago so. So 155, there's that break on Johnson & Johnson. Congratulations, guys. A blue chipper that's going off for most of us.
A monster two-day move in Palantir shares ahead of demo day coming up after the market closes tonight. They're going to demo a whole bunch of their platforms. They're going to launch some new stuff as well. So excitement going into this demo day, guys, but pretty muted here so far this morning for Palantir.
Yeah, remember this dip that happened yesterday and everyone was sort of panicking and we just calmed down. We went over to Palantir and we picked some up. We didn't hold it for all the way back up, but look at this drop down. You want to talk about, a gift in the market here. This, I think, probably the biggest one I've seen, I don't know, in a while anyways, a couple months. This kind of a drop down. We make that huge base there at 31 and then take off. And then now today we have demo day. So that's going to come after market, a Foundry and Gotham, some of their new projects. They're going to see what they're talking about there and how they're going to be able to explore different opportunities, new contracts, how the software works. And then I think based on, and again, I don't know anything about Palantir more than anybody else, probably less than most people. But, I mean, if it's an impressive showing tonight and they could announce more contracts, gets more companies involved, we went parabolic early yesterday from 35 up to 40. That's almost a 20% move, almost right off the open there before fading back in. And then you got literally, like I just said, one of the biggest gifts you're probably ever going to find in the market there. But now you're up to 36, 36.50 now. That's going to be a breaking spot and one that we have to go hard on. It was the high of yesterday afternoon. Again, if they want to get this one going, I think you go 36.50 and then you take it up to 39.40 maybe again. Down that 2%, but hey, a lot of this stuff, and I'm going to say it, and I don't know if I'm going to go hard on this stock today, but a lot of the time, it's buy the rumor, sell the news, and today's the news day, right? And so we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's happening after market. But to say I like Palantir, I mean, we're long below $10. So let's just hit the air horn that's anyone been on this stock with us. I called the 30 break a long time ago, and it happened a hell of a lot earlier than I thought. So again, guys, congratulations.
Yeah, I just want to, when it comes to sell the news, we're talking about that sort of yesterday, today type of idea that it might come in. The one caution I would have is for that thesis, just look at the lack of bid, because there was the market fell off at this moment when we did have this that drop off in Palantir, but the bid evaporated in some stocks more than it did on others, and I just feel like going into this event, there's a lot of profit to be had for a lot of people here. And that's why you just be cognizant of any sort of rollover. And that includes, for me, if it makes another parabolic move off of the open. If that can fail lower than the 39.60s where it got to last time, well, yesterday morning last time. But then there's also that little top that we had right before the plunge, and that's going to be about 37.70. So in the event that any push to the upside has a failure in and around that price, I'd look to be jumping into the short side trade. I actually just tried some 97s on AMC and got out at 99 shorting, simply because I saw GameStop again flush down, but that just made an 82 bottom. So GameStop might be trying to find a bit of a bottom here. It did dip before it rallied, so it might be gearing up to do the same thing again.
Okay, guys, just checked 8.25% here for Etsy this morning. Elon Musk giving Etsy the thumbs up after shopping for, I guess, a sweater for his dog on Etsy and saying on Twitter that he kind of loves Etsy. So no other real significant catalyst for this stock this morning. But okay, now it's 8.5% for Etsy, guys. We're at recent highs here.
The guy can't find a sweater on Pinterest? Come on, Elon. Whatever. Look, it's a fun story. Obviously, this is actually not the first time that we've seen Elon with a tweet move a stock, but usually it has a little bit more to do with the substance of the company or a higher level opinion here. I honestly really don't know what to make of this. In some situations, in most scenarios, I'd be thinking to myself, okay, well, it's probably due to pull off a little bit here, and people are going to take profit off of the table, and that's what my gut would tell me. But I just don't want to fight the army that actually might be behind this. It's one thing to catch it off of a level like this, and I'm showing a 3-minute here just so it's a little bit easier to see. Normally I'd have the 15 up, but it's one thing to catch it, like, if you get a pre-market level before 8 o'clock at like that, the 2:30 psychological top, round number, it already tested and failed, broke once. If you catch a trade like that on the way back down, great, that's fine. But I just feel like if I think there's going to be a sell here, and I were short 227, 227 half, I don't know if I'm wrong all the way to 250, and I don't know that the risk to reward is going to be good enough. I mean, it might catch a bid a lot sooner than that. So I'm going to stay away from playing what I think might be a bit of profit taking off of that tweet from Elon there, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. Certainly anyone that was holding this, you might be looking at it and saying, oh, free money, free 10%, depending on where you had it. So I'll be staying away from shorting Etsy, but I mean, the thesis would be okay at that 230 level, I think.
Look at Mr. Softy here, guys. My favorite stock, and again, a big portfolio buster for me as well. The all-time high here on Microsoft, 232.86. That's going to be a good breaking spot. So 233 or so. Microsoft up that 1.08%. That'll change by the time the open comes, but 229, 230, big levels yesterday. That's where we sort of, remember yesterday I was like, why is Microsoft going down here? But we did have that 230 top, which came into play again near the end of the day. And then with earnings coming, I think it's tomorrow, you are getting now Microsoft taking out the top and making all-time highs. Once again, we love Mr. Softy. Let's try to get in here on this one, 230 and change. I see a lot of people talking about Palantir and BlackBerry. We already talked a little bit about Palantir, and I think BlackBerry's coming up soon, Brendan.
I believe we talked about it already, but let's just to confirm, Sean, Microsoft is actually tonight, aftermarket tonight for Microsoft. So anyone trading that, just be aware. General Electric, meanwhile, reported this morning better than expected results right across the board for GE. Really nice look here, yeah, both in pre-market trading and if you go to a daily chart, it looks pretty good as well, guys.
Yeah, this just tells me if you're not in GE, yeah, the daily chart is what got me into this one, guys. Whoa, hello, a big order there. That reminds me, let's check out our imbalance locator quick time. Thank you to the traders yesterday for bringing Nokia to our attention. We didn't trade it, but you guys mentioned it, and it's a hot fire stock. We will get to that. Yes, sir. 1205, 1207 right now, AMC, BlackBerry. But there's GE. Look, I talked about the build back in America's real. We talked about infrastructure. I talked about Boeing and how much I like GE and their involvement with that company. And now you're going up and away. We're long right in here somewhere, 10 on this break through 10. It might be 1040 off the low. I'll double check where we're long on this name. But again, it would have been better to be long down here. That's for damn sure. But that's a nice little rebound there. We've seen GE start to take off again. And yeah, I'm holding this one for quite a long time, although it is in my swing trade account. So we may get out here if we do get near this 13 mark. But look, it's clear sales for this big beloved name. Already 20 million shares. This could be another one. Part of my reasoning for going long GE was also that it was a low value stock that I know can do hundreds and hundreds of millions of shares. And I do know that that's attractive for certain traders. So yeah, I think we break this level, 1225. Let's go on GE. All this really tells me is, honestly, I'm long Boeing in the same account as well. I like this name to go to the high side. We're going to watch for earnings, but here's the daily chart on Boeing. And I was saying this doesn't get much sweeter than this down here at these levels right now as well. So a 200 protection here on Boeing. Although we're below the 50 period, I'd like to see this above that 218. I think that's where I'm long, 212, 213, somewhere in here. I'd like to see it go up a little bit from there, but 205. Look, GE, love GE today. And honestly, man, I mean, looking at this daily chart, or the daily chart's easy, but 1215 here, and then maybe 1225 on the daily. I don't think we'll be lucky enough to get 1215. It's probably open up a little bit higher.
Yeah, it's looking like it probably will, but you always have a plan of action. I think 85 to 87, somewhere in that range is, if we do get any kind of a dip in G, I think does make a little bit of sense. I just noted there's one at the bottom of our list here, and I just threw some orders out on this EDSA. I just want to make sure I got to it because I'm anticipating, and I've seen this sort of happen before, and I want to make sure I catch this one. If this pops up like a buck or so, I'm playing off of a 1050 area. And again, I look at some of where that pre-market volume comes in and stalls out, where you get pullbacks, and then you had support. That's right around like 1035 or so. So use like a 1050 stop, and I want to work into this one at about $10. Sometimes you get that 930 bump. In this particular case, I kind of want to stand in front of the train just because I really like this level. And it's already shown a heck of a lot of weakness in coming back in. So the other one I know a lot of people have been mentioning about KOSS. It's a headphone maker that went nuts. I know there was some action driving the stock yesterday, and whether it's Wall Street bets or heavy retail action, it's making another push to the upside. I was already going to say when I saw this at 10:15, the price level, I should say the second time at 8:15 this morning, that this was going to look like it was going to be a strong one. I didn't want to have a breakout at 9 o'clock, but that was about as clean as it gets at 10:75. This is on my stay away from it till it halts list. If this halts, I'd think about shorting it, but otherwise, I wouldn't be fighting this one today. It just feels like it's obviously got the same action behind it as it had in yesterday's session.
Yeah, crazy mover, crazy volume. It's a 7.4 million share float on that stock, so it's almost turned its entire float over in the pre-market. So tread lightly. Let's go to Johnson & Johnson here, guys. Another one with earnings this morning. They also increased their full year 2021 profit forecast to $9.40 to between $9.40 and $9.60 per share. That's up from a prior $8.99 per share. Everything was good right across the board. They also mentioned that their COVID-19 vaccine data is coming next week, which everyone is anticipating.
The only reason I would say that you can get away from just, hey, it's Johnson & Johnson, hold it, don't trade it, is the vaccine data coming through, and they expect it. And they're saying it's going to be positive, but it's not the craziest thing in the world. If you got into this, if you bought Johnson & Johnson for a swing trade, it wouldn't be crazy to anticipate selling before that data comes out, or selling on the pop, which might occur because of that data. As far as the day trade goes, probably never had any, maybe once, but probably never had any success day trading Johnson & Johnson. Although I'm curious, because I did miss it when you put it up there, Sean, the imbalance locator, only because I see an NYB order it's on the 170 even. I'm a little bit curious what that imbalance might be, because I haven't opened mine yet.
J&J right here, 220 in balance. So 220 shares. Yeah, there it is there on the sell side. So that'll almost get taken off almost exactly. But again, yeah, I think Neil's 100% right. You probably won't see this flash into me today unless, I mean, let's take a look here. The call was right there. So if you rolled the dice with me, I'm long J&J for a long time, so it's fine. But that was a great little opportunity right there, breaking out past this 155, and now you're getting rewarded. Obviously, a huge dividend. I talked about this was the only COVID play that I really liked, and yeah, you're being rewarded right now. So 170, I don't even know. Like this is the highest it's ever been since I've been holding it. We're probably at all-time highs here with Johnson & Johnson, and why not? 157, they have some of that weed killer stuff behind them there, and some of the baby powder, talcum, and whatnot. Court's been settled. Opioids is now in sort of, I guess it's in their rear view mirror. I think they still have a little bit of settling to do there, but yeah, wow. We are big time upside right now, 170 through here, and that's Bayer, of course, with the weed. Well, what is that? What was
Roundup?
that? What was it called?
Roundup? Is it?
Roundup, yeah. I think. Yeah. Bayer took them over, not Johnson & Johnson. It was the talcum powder there, up to 170, 172. So, yeah, watch out, man. I won't be trading it, but that imbalance is nice. And thanks to Neil for bringing that up, because other than that, I mean, you can just basically have this 170 break. And I think this guy breaks it right off the open. So whether or not you want it right now or not is one thing. GE, by the way, I just want to talk about this quickly. It basically goes right to that level that we gave you of 12.15. I mean, that was the level that we had on the daily chart. That was sort of, that's 13 up there, but it was right here, this little breaking spot right there, back in February of basically 1207, 1208. It hits that 1215 and turns around. So let's watch out on this one off open. Only 6 minutes now. That hour flew by.
All right, guys, let's talk about Workhorse here before we get to the open. I was just checking the chart. This, if we can throw up my chart there, Robbie, there we go, thank you. This is 350 yesterday. We had this tear in Workhorse from 2380 up to 26.5 by the close. That followed a report from EV News website Electrek, who said that the Biden administration is planning on replacing the entire U.S. government fleet with electric vehicles. If you remember, a couple months back, there was the U.S. Postal Service contract that this company was bidding on. That has kind of fizzled out since, or put on the back burner since. But Workhorse up here on the possibility of more business.
Yeah, pie.
Do what I want.
It was pie in my face, because when President Biden made those comments, I punched along in in ride, which was obviously the wrong call. It did go up. It was like a very, very small winner. And then, of course, I went over and was like, oh, yeah, workhorse. Big time move. There is an obvious level that we're going into right now. You just look at the top, right at the close and into the aftermarket where the run did sort of stall out, 26.65, breakout right at 7 a.m. when certain volume comes in. It broke through that price, and now look at this turn. It's trying to turn right off that 26.60. So that's going to be the level on my radar for a workhorse. I just want to make sure that you're holding above it. I don't plan on shorting workhorse today, but wow, GameStop back at 88. So I don't know. Sometimes it's like if you're willing to take the pre-market trades there, it did feel like if we took that 85, it was going to be a good level. And there goes GameStop again. Watch out if this thing takes 90. That could be the level to watch. But 26.60 is what I'll be looking at on Workhorse. I don't plan on having this one right at 9:30. I think I'll probably be more involved and look at AMC, BlackBerry, and probably a little bit of GameStop. And then, of course, that ESA as well.
Yeah, watch out for BlackBerry also kind of coming down a little bit. We went as high as 1980 there, put me $1 in the money from my pre-market buy. But we're going to wait. I got some bids down here, 1860, 1870, in case we get back down here. And then if we can hold the 1750, we talked about that level already earlier, like we mentioned. So I think that 1750 is a good one. And then on BlackBerry, I guess you just have VWAP 1950 on a break. But I think this is pretty dangerous. Look at the NASDAQ starting to go up. Microsoft's going to be a good trade today as well. So BlackBerry through 1950, I like it, but I do like a dip buy as well. But there's still 4 minutes to go in a little bit of a volatile market, needless to say. And then AMC here through 5. It touches that 507, 508. Watch out for a 510 break on AMC, and I love AMD as well.
All right, guys, we'll talk about a couple of little ones. There's that Foonware. They got NASDAQ compliance given back to them, and also that EDSA that Neil was mentioning. But I wanted to bring this one to your attention. EXPR, remember Express from yesterday, ended up resisting 4 and then 420. At the top end of the range from yesterday. So we're opening lower here. Any kind of push into those levels definitely gives you an opportunity. Lots of volume on this one again this morning. EXPR, guys. Tight little range here around 350 at the moment for EXPR.
Yeah, I like fading maybe a 375 pop on that one. You mentioned Foon here. PHUN, this 230 level looks good to me. It's going to be that similar story. Where does the pre-market support eventually break and then turn into resistance? It's going to be at 230. I'd like to put this in the category of maybe we'll get it in EXPR, maybe we'll get it in EDSA. It might happen in Foon, but it's going to be a pop into one of these levels that I like. It's 230 for an entry that I like. I think you probably have to give that to like a 240, 250 before you know you're wrong. All bets are off if this thing actually can get back to the high. But we've seen these NASDAQ sort of relisting type plays where they get compliance back, be good, sell on the pop type of deals unless there's a tremendous amount of buy support and momentum in the pre-market. That's what usually would get me off of something like this, but I'm just not seeing it right now in Foon here. So I'm going to be locked and loaded, ready to go with about a 230 area and maybe give that to like a 250 off of the open here. GameStop at 88. For a second, I just saw a big bid there at 89, sorry, 90, but that was a on the open NYSE order. That stock still looking like it was trying to go up, but it did resist at 90 just now.
Yeah, I think this GameStop here, 94.50 was that level that we talked about yesterday that we wanted to go long on, and then we wanted to defend that 85 level as well, but that's broken. So a 95.50 or so long coming into play there, hopefully for me. If it does go there, we'll try to grab it. But again, we got to watch out for the spread. You're probably going to have to cross up like 50 cents or more if that's what you wanted. AMC might break, and I don't want it to break early because I'm trying to get this through 510, but it might break right now. A quick check on the imbalance locator. Nokia still huge. AMC still huge as well. Oh, I think I have to cancel this order for AMC here going through 511 because it's just going to be too big. We'll put it back, but we'll put it for a little bit smaller of share size there on a break, but looks like it's going to go right now. GE still a big bid. NEO will hopefully look at that again today. And Palantir, like Neil mentioned, on the sell side. So watch out. It is demo day today. New products coming through, and generally it is a sell the news type of event. So we've told you about that. Quick check on NASDAQ. There's never really too many NASDAQ imbalances here. We always see favorite SNDL on here, Bed Bath and Beyond there for a
mostly
sell.
penny stocks.
Yeah, exactly. So NASDAQ just gets hit for penny
Sean,
stocks.
quickly before the open happens, Beyond Meat got up to like a 227. So remember what I said. It's not. Sometimes you think feels like it was crazy to talk about that 250 when we're first announcing that story when Sean broke it, but 250 could come into play. If it pulls back to like a 200, as crazy as it sounds, it might even be worth a defend. I know everyone's been talking about Nokia. Look, everyone sort of probably knows the story by now, catching a little bit of momentum into yesterday. Yesterday's top, this 40, the pre-market, post-market level 512 and a 515 level here, potentially for a breakout. The volume and liquidity is gigantic on Nokia, so for me, it'd be like scalping, start with like 5-10 cent type of winners, not necessarily always hoping for that monstrous home run. If it defends this previous high from yesterday in the morning, that 490 did it once, we'll see if it can't do it again. I hit that like 2 seconds ago.
So we're in AMC. Not yet there, Randy.
Not yet. It's coming down.
Slow down there, Randy.
It's a little delayed, though. It's a little delayed. Let's drop it right now. This market is open. Let's get this party started.
Go. We're open. It's always a party when at Trader TV Randy is in the building. We did go long here, like we mentioned on AMC, and we lightened our load, and thank God we did, because here we come to the downside AMC there, off a pre-market break. Should have never, we should have took it because we don't know what's going to happen, but now it's sort of settled down. Let's see if AMC can go off right now. And then there goes BlackBerry, 1862, a nice little long, guys.
Yeah, and just go Bed Bath & Beyond. I feel like we didn't mention this one, not nearly enough. It just came down to like this 29.50 level. It's headed to the southbound side, but GameStop just broke that 90. I missed it. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't cross far. We just talked about maybe having to cross the spread a little bit more than you might expect. This is me. I did not cross that nearly enough. I just missed GameStop through 90. It's going at 95 already.
Okay, we have that 95 right now. So we're long right now, 94 and change. So a big run up for GameStop. Let's go. We've got this one. We've got BlackBerry. We've got GameStop now $3 in the money. BlackBerry 30 cents in the money, and AMC doing nothing at $5. But let's watch out for this GameStop. Let's go parabolic, baby. Let's make our day already. Goal number 1 hit. Let's see how high we can get now on this name.
Yeah, and watching Nokia, which is about to take the top off as well, sometimes you just can't beat them. You got to join them. It's approaching that 525. I'm going to get into this party as well. AMC is not gone yet, but it's pie and face. I tried to get 90s there on GameStop. I didn't have a 95 order. But I think it looks like it just tipped to that 100 mark and pulled back.
Yeah.
If it pulls back to anywhere close to 95, that's worth a pickup.
Yeah, so we are long there. We let it go all the way to 95 and didn't get out, so that could be a mistake there for sure. It looks like it is anyways. But this is not a mistake, and we floss it off. Look where we're long on BlackBerry. Exactly where we said we'd want to get long there. 1860, guys. It's at 1920 right now. A big runner here for BlackBerry for us. Big time win, making us not feel so bad about our AMC right now. That AMC looks like it's going to fade down. We do got to get out of this one. If it does break down below right now, there it goes to the downside. There goes AMC, breaking hearts right now to the downside, guys. We are out of that one. That's a mistake. But BlackBerry sure as hell isn't, as it's still ripping to the high side.
Yeah, and trying to bounce off that 90, I just pictures up. That 90 actually comes back in, so I basically get both of those entries on a GameStop. It looks like it's trying to head back northbound. It feels like this stock is going to have to settle itself down. This opening range is almost too big. I just got Nokia. I know we probably neglected it a little bit. Some of you guys are going to be interested in that stock. It did break out at that 515 area. I got to 528. I missed a chance to get some out while getting into GameStop here, but I'm going to be adding in front of 515 if I can, just to see if it holds that level we were talking about in the pre-market just before that open. GE is back below $12, guys. I'm going to be looking, like I said, like 11. It was like 11.85 was the level I would have liked to defend here. So if it gets anywhere close to that, I'm going to pick up a long.
Okay, so we did get out of our AMC on that break, but we're holding a little bit to see about this 475 area that we talked about. We'll try to pick a little bit up there, but then we have to watch it. That is going to be obviously AMC now coming to the downside, 475. We talked about this name. It's been a good name for us, but that's been AMC. I think it's worth probably punching a little bit long right now if we can get it and see if we can ride this back to the high side.
I mean, you know what? You get used to trading GE a certain way, thinking there's going to be that liquidity. It dipped down to 1190, and then the turn was so hard. I couldn't get a 12 break. I just got 6s. When it turned at 95, I get 1206. It's about to break the top here. I'm going to take this also at 1215 to sort of add to the position on the momentum of it. I did want to buy the dip. Well, beggars can't be choosers. Also, GameStop headed back up to 100, guys. So the reload has worked so far on GameStop, and the breakout on GE on its way, hopefully, to maybe a 1250 at least. Brendan?
Surprise, surprise. More record highs, guys, for the markets right across the board. Li Auto here, an early volume leader so far. Big pop at the open there through 33 on volume, guys. 4% for Li Auto.
Okay, BlackBerry does come back down. Yeah, we'll look at Li Auto, look at Neo, XPEV. They're all busting out and going crazy. Everything's going crazy right now. But I have 4 positions on right now. GameStop, GE, which a big win right now, guys. We called this one. We liked it. We took that break through 15 as well. We will take a 25. Let's see if we can get that going. GameStop's not doing anything, but we're watching it. And then BlackBerry has been a big win for us, but we did take some 1950s as well. So we're getting out of that one, but we got to massage that one a little bit. And then AMC's trying to go back. I like to take a 95 break if we can right here, but right now we need that to work out. So GE bouncing around right here.
And sort of back into boring land, that PHUN, I talked about fading into something at 230. That's what I've gone ahead and done here, guys. So, I'm going to sort of stick to my guns. I had a couple of these plays that I wanted to be able to make here off of that open. I got 230 almost exactly here. It's 228. As it rounds towards a pre-market low, you're always going to want to take some out in case it bounces and you're range bound able to scalp, which I can because we're here at Day Trade the World and we can be active traders. So going to get some out here for a quick little 12, 13 cent scalp and then hang on for the rest. GameStop, I want to hold for a break of 100, even though 101.6 is a high. Brendan.
Just had an alert, guys, go off on this one. DraftKings, 54.5. Huge volume went off as we broke through 54.5. 6% now for DraftKings.
Okay, so we did get that. Thank you, Brendan. We did get that AMC break there, but it went up to 98 only and then stopped. So we're going to have to watch for AMC. It does go. We take some more 95s there. We did buy some 85s. So you're going to see our average price is 97 because we still did have some of these tops. So all we're doing is sort of averaging in here. It could be a nasty turn for us on AMC. So we got to wait to watch. BlackBerry does take out that bottom. So we flush ourselves down the hole. We did try it. It was a big success for us. But that hit was the last one that we just took on it. So basically negating that initial win. So in long, out for a nice little dollar win. And then basically a dollar loss on the downside there for that name. GameStop still running, which is nice. And then GE having a problem big time right now. We were able to get some out at 20, but not enough.
Yeah, exactly. I'm in the same boat as you. I think I got 21s, maybe 20 or 21s. It's now coming back for that same 1195 area. So if I liked it once, I'll like it again. But because I didn't get as many as I wanted out at the top, it's going to limit the amount that you can catch in the dip buy. I always look at the initial pops and it was like 1190 and then a potential breakout through there. So that's where the stop is going to be for me, and then I'll reassess it. GameStop looks like it's breaking 100. I actually want to add to a position on a 100 break if I can. After missing the trade, I have to judge how far I want to cross that order. I'm not even sure at this moment what that number is going to be because there's always a price you don't want to pay in case it's a fail break, but there haven't been too many of them on GameStop so far in the last few days.
No, there hasn't. Okay, guys, thank you again for joining us right now. Okay, we're going to get out of a little bit of GE there. We had to, as it does break lower there. We're trying on some of these home run plays, and they're just not panning out yet today, but we still got this AMC with a big position on for me right now. And then we got GameStop long 94, trying to see what happens above 100 here. VWAP 93. What's up, Brand?
Weemy, guys, one from the volume list as well. WIMI hologram. They announced, I think it was this day, some 5G related news. They updated that story this morning. So positive 5G related news for WIMI.
Me, why not? EXPR, yeah, this is going to happen sometimes. You think it's going to be weak, and I don't know. I really hope you got that one, Brendan, because I can cancel that offer. It's not going to get me in. I took my GE out. I had that 1190 as a stop. Ignore these wicks. It looks like I don't think it actually broke more than like a penny below that. So in technical terms, it has held that 1190 area. And if it bounces here, would then be a separate trade for me, which is that whole, if it bounces off support, catch it on the way back up. So the same type of idea, but only with a bit of a deeper stop to 85. So if we do get a bounce in GE, I would like to be getting back in and around a 95 area to see if we can't pick it back up. The one that's surprising me is BlackBerry here, because man, one of these things actually had positive news today. And it is BlackBerry. It is BlackBerry. If this continues to fall, start looking at this afternoon bottom at 1750. I did mention that the target range has been entered. It has broken that 1850 mark. It's in that 1750 to 1850 target range. This is where I'd start working into a position off of a 1750 and then say, this is the bottom I want to defend.
What's up, Brandon?
We saw an incredibly volatile session yesterday, guys, in this name as well. Space back to the upside here, 8%. We had a huge range yesterday all the way down to 32, back to 39 again for Space.
Of course it is. I mean, the number of value buys or whatever you want, I mean, you can throw whatever term you'd like at it, that were available when there was that little mini flash crash is pretty crazy, guys. I just got my order to start that position over in BlackBerry, so I do have that now. I just wanted to quickly go back over to Beyond Meat just to track in. It looks like that turn was just about all you were able to catch at that 227. It is trying to base out here at 205. If it heads further, watch for this little cluster. We talk about these clusters all the time, 190, 250 to 193. I'm trying to hold off on adding that one. GameStop is pulled back below 90. Now I'm holding on to my last entry, which is in front of that 90 area, just to see if we can go. Why? Because we had 85 to 87 as a target support area, and it bounces right into that. If we do not break 85 here, and I apologize for those dark wicks, we're going to halt.
Yeah, we got out. So we got out on GameStop there on that 90 break. It was a very, very easy structured trade for me there. We went long 95 early. It did rip up to us for 100 and change. And now you're looking at GameStop and there's the halt. So there's the halt now. So if you're long on this one, watch out. I think you got some downside areas of 75, 71. We talked about holding that there on this halt. It's probably not going to be a pretty open, but we'll wait to see where this goes. But I am flat. And now, like Neil mentioned in the pre-market, let's look to see if there's any sort of movement here off of a locked up stock. Okay, GE goes down there and we do get out of the, not majority, but half of what we did have there from that 12.15. So yeah, some of these stocks, man, not going in the right way, needless to say. BlackBerry was a loser for us. GameStop was a loser for us. Position pending, but GE's a loser. And then, I hate saying that word because it makes us look like one, but 490, 491 here. We'll try AMC one more time. We've had some good pickups down here, and my average price is 95, so not yet out of the money, but not yet really suffering a huge hit. We're going to wait to see what happens if we can get above 90 right now for Advanced Micro, AMC, American Movie Theaters. What's up?
Another big one with earnings today, guys. 3M reported in the pre-market here, heading northbound in a hurry. Just a heads up, there's big resistance up here on the daily chart, 177 to 178, but nice move already for 3M on positive earnings.
Yes, I mean, there was a lot of earnings that we didn't get to here. DHI was certainly one of them. And actually, I do want to pivot back here. BlackBerry is bouncing in that area. I got 1808 as a bit of a long, but I actually took off that GameStop, which I was intending on holding for an 85 bounce. Once I saw it was going to halt, I'm like, forget about it. Just take the hit and look for a re-entry. But DHI, if this breaks at any point in the next couple of weeks, or days, it might be days. 81.50 is going to be a nice little level. 81.25 technically, if you want to look for a breakout there. This home builder not doing much post earnings today, but you want to have a plan of action. I've missed the boat completely on EDSA. I did like this one as a fade trade. I can throw these orders out the window. You don't. If it's going to bounce $3, I probably don't want to have orders just sitting out there ready to get caught up in a potential halt.
Okay, 11.59 or so here on GE is going to be it because there's only so much more pain we can handle here on GE as it's just going down. We missed this one. I thought this was going to be a long. I thought it was breaking out a little bit. It could be forming a little bit of a base down on some of these levels in the pre-market. But yeah, if we break down back down below here, we're going to be out of it. Nice little long at 65 there. Let's hope that this can continue to go. What's up, Brand?
We mentioned the headline on Tilray, guys. Have a look at CGC. Wow, straight to the upside here. 33 at the bottom. We just broke 35. A heads up, though, that level right there is 35.30. We're at it right now for CGC.
Yeah,
I
and
always get
off the bottom. Here comes BlackBerry, guys. I don't know. I haven't really hit one of these, so let's go with the backflip. Let's just do it. 1750 to 1850 was a target area. I sort of waited till it dipped into it and made this bigger move before I built the position. I didn't get anything down at the absolute bottom, which kind of sucks. But it just turned hard off of that 1850. So I do take half out on the off chance it's going to hold this range and it's a consolidation lower. But if 1850 breaks, it's probably going to be worth an entry on its own. GameStop, yesterday the first halt was a 10-minute, not a 5-minute. So I want to be ready at 9:45. But if it doesn't open up, that just likely means we're looking at a 10-minute halt and it will open at 9:50 for those of you that are watching that name.
Okay, things are feeling a lot better over in Seanland right now because AMC back to the high side a little bit. Our average price, we've taken a hit on it. So, this is not all we're doing sort of now is making back a little bit of what we've lost. We've picked up some here. We're starting to sell it now. It's right at VWAP 91. We did go long again at 90 there. It's back to 92 AMC. Let's see if it can continue to go. I'll take a coffee. Let's see if it goes back to the high side there now. And thank you, Randy, for that. 496, 497 is this top, but we are taking some off now on AMC, licking our wounds a little bit here, making sure that this day stays to the positive side. I like that 1850. What's up, Brendan?
News on carparts.com, guys. PRTS at all-time highs here. If my screen will load, there we go. They're going to create a new shopping hub for hybrid and plug-in hybrid and electric vehicle used car shoppers. So PRTS here, 26% today on that.
So I'm just watching, again, this is a sort of mixed result, and I'm not happy with the way that GE went here. Should have taken more shares out on the break, and maybe shouldn't have added on that breakout trade. But either way, we're in a bunched up area, and we talk about these little bunches here from time to time. This sort of 1165 to 1175 here that you saw in the pre-market. It's trying to consolidate. I'll probably give it one last try. I usually go 3 times if I'm buying a dip. One of these was a breakout. But I'll give it one more shot. If we can hold this level on GE, it might still be worth a little bit of a long trade. It hasn't been as much fun, but sometimes these trades are usually, and I didn't do any of these yesterday, which kind of is sort of stupid because there were a couple of these fade trades, and GameStop just opened back up above that 85 range. So going to stay away from it, at least for now. If it tests 90 and fails, I'll take that rollover. But PHUN, continue to work to the south side. I'll reload at 225 if I can. If 2 even breaks, I want to have shares on board in the event that breaks, so I won't get everything out.
Okay, guys, yeah, welcome. 14,000 people now watching, so congratulations to us and to you guys for being part of the team. So, let's just keep this momentum going. We picked up some AMC on the downside here, right? So now we have an average price of 93. Still not great, but it's a great price if we can get back to these daily highs here on AMC. It got going yesterday a little bit. You can see in the afternoon, but, yesterday, if we just didn't take yesterday as an example here, AMC did fade off in the morning and then start going in the afternoon, but not the afternoon, like right around now, 9:50 we made the bottom. So let's see if this is the bottom in AMC. We have a decent price now. We're long at 93, a decent amount of shares, turning our day around. And here goes GE. We picked that up. Look, pick, all the way to the high side. So now we're long at 1170 for a nice little 12-cent win on GE. Looking to get more maybe through this 1185 area, guys, right here.
Yeah, and a quick little shot here in and out on GameStop when it broke that 90. It just didn't go anywhere, and I'm going to try and hold off until there's actually some actionable trades there. It's actually not looking not nearly as much as I would have liked it. We mentioned Etsy, and this is, it's going to be pie in my face. Everything in my gut told me it's just a standard. He tweets, it goes up, people take profit, just sell the thing at the open. Didn't do it. You'll see what happens here, and Etsy came all the way back. Brendan.
News on Velodyne, guys. If you remember the LiDAR company, VLDR up 8.5%. I'll show you the headline here. Multi-year sales agreement with this company, MCent. So multi-year sales agreement for VLDR. Just ripping on volume on that news, guys.
Guys, AMC, bang, punch that one in the face right now. Big time move to the high side here, and we're making that cash again. So we turn that frown upside down here on AMC. Yes, sir. What a nice comeback here. We talked about how huge we'd be and how happy we'd be if it took out look where we're long, 493. Go, young friend, go. Let's see how high we can get upside now on AMC. 18, 16, 15. Do we drop some? We're dropping them right now, but this is a monster win right now for AMC to the moon. Let's go.
Just noticing Palantir made a bit of a move, and thank you for in the chat mentioning this one off the pre-market lows here. 34.75 all the way back to this 36. 36. It was fail break through the pre-market high the first time. It looks like it has a shot to go. I still think there's going to be an opportunity to sell this one, and maybe it'll be in the afternoon going into that demo day. But they're buying up this bottom. I'd like to see a clean break of that pre-market high a second time. That's 36.30 to the penny. If you like that 36, there is literally zero on level 2 in terms of size. So that even dollar has nothing in terms of resistance on it. But I do still like 36.30 a little bit better. That actual pre-market high. Fail break once. I usually think about rounding into a short in front of it, but I'm not going to do that this time on a Palantir. BlackBerry just reloaded, so back into the target range again. I kind of looked away from this one thinking, sorry, it's called up Toronto for you guys there. Incorrect. Kind of thinking it was going to make a push to that 85, reloaded basically at that same 18. I still like that 17.50 as a bottom, so we'll see if the second trade in BlackBerry to the long side works out.
Yeah, I'll just put in an order here for 1845 or so here on BlackBerry. If we can get that back over this area, I think we're going to like it at that level. Okay, so a good out there. I mean, look at these outs, man. I was going crazy on that one. It doesn't get much better than that on those outs, so we will pop a wheelie on some of these outs there on AMC. Look at these bottom buys. We did have to get out. We didn't have way too many shares. I mean, it worked out. Quickly, we'll go to Brendan, but I did want to say a thank you. Thank you to David. Thank you to Ziad. And thank you to John. All new members, what's up? Welcome to the family. Let's go, Brendo.
Another earnings name, guys. DHI. Neil mentioned it briefly, but look at the daily chart here. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, now 6 days straight to the upside into earnings. Earnings better than expected as well for DH Horton, 5%, guys.
Yep. Housing the best it's ever been at level-wise here in the U.S. Apparently, according to my good friend Jim Cramer, there is only 2.5 months of data of housing available in the market. So, yeah, that's going to Toll Brothers, DH Horton, everything going. What a great time to be alive. You got low interest rates as well, guys.
Yeah, and that's not going anywhere. Tesla. I don't want to say it's not going anywhere. I was about to say it's not going anywhere. It's not going to 900 just yet. We are still on the lookout for that level. It did make a bit of a push at the open to like an 896, but I think still on the radar that 900 on Tesla. I just entered, like I said, entered back into that BlackBerry. It is looking like it's trying to test the bottom end of the range, but 1780 holding up rather nicely. Virgin Galactic, which was one of the gifts from that little market sell-off we had yesterday in the middle of the day. It touched 39, which was a little bit to my surprise. Look at this choppy consolidation around like 38 is the best I can say. It does look like it's trying to make another leg to the upside. It's one that I don't like the fact that I missed on for the day trade here through this 37.50 break. But if I can play off of that level by playing the pullback, I want to take a shot here in Virgin Galactic. But 37.50 is going to be my out, so I want to get a decent price. Brendan?
Another one from the watch list, guys. Twitter to the moon today. Nice move here. 48 to 50 just broke on a huge volume spike. They picked up, I forget the name of the company, but they bought a smaller private company that's in the publication side of things. So Twitter making a big move today, guys.
All right, we got reloaded. Thank you at TraderTV Randy for that. You can follow us all on Twitter. We got some nice love there. And if you watched this video yesterday, we went out skating, and there she is. There's a little look for the princess. Give a big shout out to her. Ooh, 81 likes. Thank you so much for that one, guys. And then today we talked about it all. AMC, Palantir, J&J, Pepsi, Beyond Meat. We haven't even looked at Beyond Meat yet, guys. So let's go over and take a quick look. Go AMC. Hello, Mamma Mia, AMC. Today on fire. Just keeps on going to the high side there for AMC, but yeah, that's been a big one. We're waiting for BlackBerry to go as well. And then, you know what, guys? Welcome. I want to say a big shout out to all my friends. If you guys are watching, probably not, because you're sick and tired of me, but I've been recommending DraftKings for a hell of a long time, and now you're seeing it be rewarded. Yesterday on our AMA, if anybody was on there, I was asked, what stock did I like, maybe for this week, maybe for a pickup? The AMA starts right here, 12 o'clock. That was $50. So that's a 10% move right there for DraftKings in less than 24 hours. Let's go.
And here comes 1750 on BlackBerry. So we're going to go. It feels like we're probably going to go one for two on that trade because it feels like it's going to break here, right now. Didn't think J&J was worth the day trade. Yeah, but there's the breakout. It actually gave you one shot. If you miss a move like that on a J&J, I don't think it's going to be worth it necessarily to chase it. It's not usually that volatile, but there's the move. So you got to be happy if you hold it. Otherwise, it turns out it did give you a day trade. I didn't expect that to happen whatsoever. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
Was quiet in the pre-market, but saw this one early on this morning. Overstock, guys, they've spun off, I guess, their blockchain subsidiary into an official crypto investment fund. So OSTK, yeah, 21% straight upside, guys.
Jesus, what a move there for OSTK. Like, that stock is nuts. That stock was single digits in pandemic time there. I guess we're still in it, but back in March. Okay, big time trade. I wrote down on the sticky note there that you guys all love. Look at the top price there, but we missed it. That was Workhorse. This 28 break, where is it? There it is, was fantastic. We have Microsoft turned out there at 232. Let's go have a quick look. I do want to take some momentum to the high side here. Workhorse could not, I mean, maybe is not done. We'll see what happens. Wow, there we go. 25 cents now. AMC right back to day's high again. We destroyed this one. Congratulations to everybody with me here on AMC Big Time Mover. What up, B?
We mentioned the news on Workhorse, guys. Biden making those comments yesterday saying he's going to replace the entire U.S. government fleet with electric vehicles. This one also popping on that news. Blink charging, guys, up 12% today.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the weed stocks. Go ahead. Sorry,
no, I was going to say another mover. We talked about this cost or a couple of times here. In the pre-market, it looks like the momentum is gone. Multiple halts to the downside. So if you're not out of this name, 10.15, just to reiterate, this was a level that it seemed like it was going to be strong off of today with several holds. If it breaks this price today or tomorrow, that's going to be a sell through 10.15 for me. Otherwise, if it makes a test of that, both halt price and top at 13.90. Maybe it has enough juice in it, but that's worth a defense at 13.90 at least once. And if it breaks out 13.90, something crazy has happened, and I'll probably take the momentum on that break on KOSS. Purely momentum if it ever gets there. But I like that 10.15 for a break to the downside now on KOSS. The 2-day run potentially over after these down halts.
60. I was going to say, okay, so we're getting very, oh, I just got a position there on Palantir. And Workhorse. So both two new positions here. Workhorse takes out 29, but fades back. We're going to try to hold this one $1 back down to 28, that magical level that we liked. And then Palantir got going, and I'm sorry, guys, like, we missed this. What kind of price was that? I thought we were going to go long at 36.50, but okay, we're long right now. Anyways, 36.81. Maybe take a little bit off here. 36.81. We'll see if we get some off, but we should have been long 36.50. I don't know why it was 80 there. Did that just go crazy on that?
I don't know. I was saying 36.30, and it's another trade that I missed out on, to be honest with you, to the upside there. I was just talking about if it retook that pre-market high. It does it. It's gone. If it pulls back, I think there's going to be a shot to catch a little bit of a pullback trade on it. BlackBerry has somehow managed to hold that 1750 area, so it has not ticked against me yet. I'm now looking over at Lordstown Ride, making a bit of a structured move to the upside as well. So the trend in these EV names is looking rather strong. I still don't see Tesla participating yet. Brennan.
Neil read my mind. I was just going to mention, yeah, Lordstown as well. 13%, the entire EV space, guys, on that news this morning. Making big moves, Ride included, guys.
I used the force with that one. I just, I knew exactly what was going on. No, I had no idea that you were going to go to Ride there. I talked about this level on BlackBerry, and it's just, if it's going to work here, certainly I'm going to be taking shares off again in front of that 1850 area because of that $1 target range. Every time I take shares at 18, I actually finally got some in front of 1750. You got to take profit on the way up, because if it continues to hold this trend and cannot break the 1850, you basically stared a good level in the face and made nothing off of it. So I will try to get some more shares out between 18 and 1840. And then if I can hold that last 30% of the position, or maybe a quarter of it, to see if you can make a run back up to 19, or maybe even hold it all day long, or just a bigger trade. We'll try to do that, but got to take some profit on BlackBerry here, because if you're not getting in and out actively with this style of a trade, it's probably not long run going to be profitable for you. So we'll try to line that one up and knock it over. I got Palantir on the pullback. This is not necessarily the way that I wanted to get this trade through that 36.30. I wanted to break. If it can defend 36, fantastic. I'll get into what I thought was going to be the position size that I liked off of a bounce at 36. I won't take it on the way down, but hopefully on the way up.
Guys, look at Workhorse. Yeah, we average into that trade as well. Look at Workhorse, a nice little 50-cent win, so it's hot dogs for everybody. I mean, it doesn't get cleaner than that. Give you guys the level there, 29. We talked about that, so now we're going to rate the upside. A smooth 50 cents right there. We did take off some for 35 cents. We just noticed it right away. Popped into the money, a big trade there. So now we'll wait. Giving you some work on the upside now, if we can. Here, where is my daily chart? Here it is right now. 29, 30, 31 could be a top 30, 50. Also another look, but let's get out one more little bit there as it stops at 29.50. We don't want to hold this one all the way back to the downside, but a nice little win there for Workhorse. If we are looking high side, it's 30.50, but it just faded pretty hard off that 29.50, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at just looking at Ride here, there is like 26.50 is not a horrible level, and I'm just looking at the actual top right now. It's not a tremendous amount of liquidity outside of those funky orders that you just saw there at 26.36. That's a rather random price. If this one actually gets back to like a 26 level, it might be worth a dip. Palantir just broke that 36.
Yeah.
I just saw bids step up there at 85, which is kind of holding me off from getting out of it. And because I just saw that bid, I'm going to pick up some shares in front of it. I mean, I just saw a bid at 85 that looked interesting enough for me to jump into some more shares. But this is the dip I'm waiting for on Ride, Lordstown. If it gets to that 26 and can hold, that would signal a bit of an entry point. BlackBerry's holding above 18. That looks like it's going to be good to go. J&J is pulling back a little bit, and that KOSS is approaching my entry. If this breaks that 10.15, I want to be involved in that one for momentum play. If that breakdown trade doesn't like immediately put pressure on 10 even, I'd probably get right out of it simply because it's a breakdown. If it cannot get through that level, I don't want to hang on to it if it's bouncing off 10 even.
Okay, so we're going to get some out here on Palantir because, yeah, we're pretty loaded up right now. So we got to get a little bit out off of a nice buy at the bottom, but we're not trying to turn our day into crazy town. So let's just keep going high side here on Palantir, but we are going to get some out just in case it doesn't pop through that day high where we're apparently long, even though we should be long at 36.50. Not sure what happened there. Brendan at the big screen, give it to him.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock already. Let's have a quick look at North American markets. You can see S&P 500 still positive, 0.13%. The Dow back to the upside as well, 0.2%. The NASDAQ pretty quiet so far. The past couple of days, we've seen tech stocks leading. Not the case today, 0.16, 0.05 for the NASDAQ 100 here. The Russell, 0.37% positive. TSX here in Toronto is basically flat, little red. Down in Brazil, they're up a full percent so far if you're following along on the BOVESPA, full percent to the upside. Couple of things from the watch list to keep in mind. We talked about Palantir being a little bit muted, even negative, heading into the event after market tonight. Yeah, same story. We're kind of just chopping around here, 34.50 to 36.50, although it is trying to hold higher currently. I want to show you this one as well. We talked about the funny story on Etsy. I guess when the market opened up, they said, wait a minute, nothing actually changed. So straight southbound, 228 back to 210, exactly where it was yesterday for Etsy. Guys, back to you.
Yeah, file that one in the pie and face, like I've said here. I got DHI. Now, obviously, I just sort of finished talking about the potential for a break and how it hadn't done anything yet through that 81. It goes through, it gives you $2, and it just came not just all the way back, but it gives you this look off the pre-market low. And I bungled this on GoGo yesterday, and I'm gonna try not to do it here with a stop that was shy of the low of the day, just to pull it out a little bit. This is 79.30. Forget about that dark pool print, but there was in the afternoon all kinds of support just below the 79 mark. That's what I want to make sure I give this trade to the long side on DHI. Palantir, I got a little bit of a reload. I talked about that order that was there at the 35.85 area that just sort of showed up. Again, it was interesting enough. It happened. I know it's going to end up being VWAP, but that wasn't even my reason necessarily. It was the bid that even stepped in there when it first made that move down. So I added to that position. If it goes back towards the high of the day, I'll definitely have some out. But ideally, I want to be holding for any shot that it gets to 37 today, Bren.
All right, guys, record views 2 days in a row for us. Again, thank you so much for everyone. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you take a second. Hit the like, guys. All we ask is for you to hit the like button so we can get this out to as many people as we possibly can. Make sure you stick around as well. Coming up a little bit later on, another guest swinging by, Stephen McCauley from Empower Clinics in the health space. So important right now when it comes to the treatment of COVID patients and also long-term some applications when you talk about physio, you talk about chiropractic. Lots of great stuff to talk about with Stephen McCauley from Empire coming up at 11:15. Guys.
All right, I'm just going to cancel some of my orders here. Actually, I might just cancel all of these orders. I don't have too much to risk here. Other than Microsoft, we're going to watch that one. I was going to go crazy. I just noticed an order there. I was going to go crazy on GE, but that one came through, so we didn't have to worry about it. But other than that, yeah, everything trying to go right now. AMC down to the bottom. That's what I want to look at right now. AMC 490 right down at the bottom, 481.42. A good little bottom spot there, but who knows if we're going to try one more time. I think we might as well. AMC through 492 or so, this little high right there. We can break that. Let's go long again on AMC and then use a bottom of like 480 maybe to get out if that doesn't work out. But I think AMC maybe building some nice bottoms. We can use this 480 there. Let's see if the momentum can carry this name through, but it needs to break through 92 before I really get serious here with AMC. Make sure it is back to the high side. GE, 3 pennies in the money, looking to get some more there as well.
Yeah, DHI made another move here. Sorry, DHI. DHI made a move to the downside. I still have that off the bottom. I'm going to give it to that lower day like I mentioned, but it's PHUN making a move to the high side. I was able to get some out and always do so in front of pre-market lows and that $2 range, but it just retested those 30s. I added once, and the way that this came in, I don't want to add again. It just feels like that was on volume, this spike. So I'm going to tighten it up from like a 250 to a 240 area stop and then make sure that we actually hold this level. Because that was a volume spike post-open, the biggest one we've had so far today on PHUN. And anytime I see that, I don't want to be digging in way too deep on it. That level on Palantir is being tested again, that 35.85. If we break through and we get to like a 75, I'll take this trade off and then hunt for something a little bit lower on, see if we can get a bit of a range. BlackBerry again is testing this 1820, and one of these moves has to hold on, or otherwise I'm not going to get what I want out of this BlackBerry long.
What's that, Beep?
We saw this one pop up yesterday, guys. Big move to the upside yesterday for Smile Direct Club. A little bit of weakness, to say the least, to start things off today. 1260, 1250 held at the bottom there. We're all the way back to 1350. Just went positive again for SDC.
Okay, yeah, Smile Direct, big time move there. Okay, I said I was going to try to get some more GE at some point. We did get that AMC, so you're seeing my price change a little bit on that one. Yeah, I guess it's still 1180 or so here on GE. If we can get some shares there, let's see if I can blow this up just a little bit for you guys. Yeah, so we did have a nice little pickup. That's our little bottom there. Should have probably gone long right here on this break, 1173, 1174. Let's see if we can get some of that, and then we'll go longer again on an 80 break. But let's see if we can get it. AMC starting to go. Workhorse still 25 cents in the money. That's been a good one. We've just taken it off for 30 cents, then for 25 cents. So put 60 cents in our pocket. Let's see if Workhorse can go, but we got to get some more GE here, I think.
GE, I mean, that's one that's, for me, that one got away. I mean, and again, as good as some of yesterday was, GE not treating me rather nicely, but it is finally giving, there wasn't consolidation off this level. I talked about that little chop zone, that 65 to 75 area. This is sort of the sideways action off of a level like that you're looking for. So now that it's finally done it, I will take one more crack. I said 3 times. One of these was technically a breakout trade on the way up. The other one was a defense here, but we'll try it a third time in front of 1165. Now that it's finally rounded itself off and made a little bit of a level. Palantir's held 35.85 again, so for now I'm still in this trade. And just to go back to this EDSA, the one that I missed big time to the short side because it never made any moves up, this has found a level off of, again, you get the 7 o'clock pullback when these stocks get ramped up, and you look at this level here at 760, and it bounces right off of it. Watch out for that actionable level. Finally, BlackBerry.
Yeah,
it is about time.
Go.
There's that 1850 break, but it turns off VWAP. Yeah, whatever. I'll go ahead and take some out in front of VWAP and then hold on to the last 20% of the position to see if we can actually continue the move up here. So I've been in long in BlackBerry. Once it entered that 1750 to 1850 range, I was long in front of 18, and then finally got one shot there in front of 1750. Gonna hang on for dear life in the chance this one goes. BlackBerry is one of these 4 that actually had good news on the day.
Yeah, we're yelling at BlackBerry now. We took that 1140. We were very, very patient for that. We just cashed out a little bit above VWAP. We think it can still go, but who knows? Look at this bid on Palantir, guys. damn, we picked you up, and we got you again, Palantir. We got you right now on the downside. I hope so. Anyways, that little bid down there, we picked it up. We averaged in. It was a pretty sweet trade. That's why you're seeing my average price now 88 on Palantir. So this was a disaster. So we've lost. We picked it up. We picked it up again. Nice little average in. 88 is our price, and we just took some out there in the 20s and 30s. So that was good. And then BlackBerry right now, man, good thing we got out at VWAP, but right now it's just dancing. Would like to see a much higher than this 1920. This is about where I'm in at. Oh, sorry, 1880 is where I took the price in the pre-market in my own account. I still think BlackBerry can squeeze a little bit, but there goes Palantir squeezing to the high side as well. 36.34, just took another out. 50 cents in the money. Hot dogs for everyone, but I don't think Brendan's a huge fan of hot dogs. What's up, Brandon?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
VIR Biotech, another big mover today, 54%. This is a $65 stock on volume as well. They had positive news on a hepatitis B treatment that they are working on. So VIR on the NASDAQ, guys.
All right.
Wow.
And
add that one to the level very quickly here, if I can. Just to mention DHI, it just made a bit of a pop. I was able to get a few more shares here when it started to level off. I was waiting for it to go sideways a bit before picking it up. This is not. It's only done 1.5 million shares, so this is not a stock that's going to overwhelm me with 100 million or 200 million or one of those crazy numbers. But if it retakes 80. I'm likely to think about one more time adding, but hopefully on consolidation again above that price. I want to be patient with this. There's no need to usually rush into a trade like a DH Horton. Just to go, if I can, PHUN. The first trade worked. I said I'd tighten up the stop. I did, and then I made top wick. It's going to happen. It was on volume, that little spike to the upside. And I didn't want this one to get out of hand because the pre-market high was like 265. I don't want to be holding that one on a 50 break and then getting out on the north side of that. It just made more sense to wait for another entry there. BlackBerry's still having trouble getting through VWAP, guys, but I'm hanging on for that break anyways. I've taken out what I will take out.
Yeah, BlackBerry trying to go right now, and yeah, we've got this trade here, guys. We hit it pretty hard, so we're gonna hit some backflips right now for BlackBerry, bringing us back. Good trade there for me on this name, so let's just keep holding it and see how high it can go. We've got GE right now at 72. It's at 79, so that's a banger for you as well. Right now back through 80. Let's get out a little bit more if we can on that name. Palantir, 35 cents in the money. BlackBerry, 15 cents in the money. AMC doing not much. As we go, okay, BlackBerry, I see you. Here it goes, ripping to the high side right now. This is a monster trade for us, so it's another backflip. Good trade here for BlackBerry. I know it doesn't look like it's huge, but we put on shares. We were waiting for that opportunity. We struck when we saw it, and there we go. Bang! A nice move to BlackBerry on the high side right there. Yes, welcome to the jungle. The water is warm as we make this money back today, guys.
We got fun and games is the line, Sean.
That's right, buddy.
I'm a movie guy. Like, I'm movie buff. You say welcome to the jungle, you got to throw that in there. I'll go to Etsy in a second. I just tried to take the dollar winner at 75 on BlackBerry for some more shares, but it just bounced off that level. But I can hang on to it. It's weird here because the first thing I said about Etsy was, hey, why not, my gut was telling me to short it, but now you're basically double bottoming at just off of yesterday's close price where there was all kinds of support and sideways action. There we go. I just got that dollar winner on BlackBerry, so we'll go with the Mortal Kombat because I'm more of a Sub-Zero kind of guy, despite the fact that you see Scorpion there. But on Etsy, if we can hold this low at 210, this is now suddenly not the craziest idea in the world. You're getting it $1 above that price. Even a moderate breakout gets you a couple of dollars here. Yeah, you can sign me up for that if I can pick up some shares, risking no worse than $1.50 ideally, and then trying to catch a break through this 213 area if this stock gets a second win to it. It's only up that 1% now, and that is a big time pullback that we just saw.
Okay, so Workhorse still going as well, guys, at 70 cents in the money. This one hasn't been really a roller coaster. Never really gone against us here. 29.05, upside 29.40, $30 coming through here. But we've got some nice trades on right now, guys. Oh, Palantir. What? Okay,
Palantir. It just broke that 75.
Yeah,
I just took it out. It was a sell program for a split second there through 75, but it looks like it stopped.
Yeah, Palantir was cruising there to the high side. That's why we took some out, and then it comes right back down and takes us out at that low. So that's why my net changed just a little bit, but we were pretty light on Palantir. So we'll wait for that one. Blink charging, Brendan, I see still going. What's up, bud?
Yeah, Blink and XPEV, the EV names, just so strong today. This one as well, not so strong. Finally looking a little weak here for Bio Nano Genomics, guys, BNGO, down a full percent. Remember, this thing was a penny stock about a month and a half ago. So remember, all the genome sequencing that's being done for these different COVID-19 variants, this is what this company does. So that's why they've been on such a tear of late, but looking a little weak for the first time for BNGO, guys.
Yeah, that kind of makes me wonder what's going on with PAC B. I mean, I haven't looked at that one in a while, but it's very... The gene sequencing is very, very interesting in general for an overall market. And I think there's some ways to play it. I think PAC B is going to be an interesting name to be watching there. But BNGO, that is when you see a flush this big on volume and that hard of a turn, usually that can mean support. And here's that 12:30 pre-market where things jumped off, oddly enough, around 7 o'clock, that you might be looking as an actionable level. I'll take that one shot in Etsy. It looks like it's making an attempt to get through that 210. It is what it is. I'll play that defense almost every single time. But BNGO, if we get any kind of a level off, this is a little bit too hairy right now. And the level 2 also showing a little bit of a lack of liquidity as well in terms of leveling off at this price. But if it can and it's above 12:30, maybe that's a level worth watching. DHI is trying to go DH Horton here, but I think this is one, like I said, to be patient with. So I'm not anticipating this is going to go back up to 81 in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. If I have to hang on to this one a little bit longer, I'm perfectly willing to do that.
Okay, so we went longer here, 35.60 now on a break. 35.62 right on that break, but then it just tanked on us to 35.44. Actually, it tanked down to 35.30 on that break. So that was the 30 cents we had to withhold it. It comes back and we get out of a little bit. This is very, very violent for Palantir. I still think we have some upside, but it's definitely not giving it to us. That's why you got to dump these shares. That was a mistake straight off the bat. We talked about Palantir making some strange moves off the open. We thought it did that, then all of a sudden it went all the way to the top. I got to cancel these orders when I see these moves because the top is there for a reason. I shouldn't be going long at those levels. But okay, we take it now. We thought we were maybe building a little bit of a base down here at 50. It didn't really look like it. It just cracked through 30, so we'll take a little bit off. We are stuck long now, 62 on Palantir. I think it's worth getting a little more out and then try it one more time if it goes, because this is just violent to the downside right now. PLTR heading southbound right now and not great. I got to go over to that Blink, XPEV, and then even have a quick look over at NEO as well. But everything's red today, it seems like.
Tesla just turned red as well. I mean, my first inclination was what's going on with Tesla here, and it just broke its low at 880. Remember that 860 level that had trouble breaking out through? If it gets to that price, it may be worth a defend on Tesla. The day I remember to take a shot at maybe looking at that 900 for a reverse or a breakout style trade is a day that it can't seem to get there. So we'll have to file that one away. Tesla not going to give us that entry point. I just got out of Etsy there, so sometimes you got to go with your gut. I feel like it was the right call not to in this particular case, but if I can find it, we'll throw our, in honor of maybe the Jets' new quarterback, my little Deshaun Watson there. It's not, in retrospect, it's not going to look like that big of a hit because it was such a patient wait for the bottom on a 210 level on an Etsy. Yeah, we should have probably just sold that one off when the only news actionably getting it up was a tweet from Elon Musk. But either way, I did try that little bottom pick. Now we're just seeing if BlackBerry can hold up. It just pulled back to 18.18, Brendan.
Just looking at the overall market here, guys, coming off a little bit. Seems to be the banks that are leading to the downside here. WFC among the weakest right now, 1.2%. It's been straight southbound, 32.5 down to 31.75 here for WFC, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we rotated out of some of those banks not too long ago. I put some money, you guys know, I put some money into Facebook to work a little bit. We did like that. Okay, here comes Palantir, straight to the downside. We average in a little bit, but we're not going to let it go past 10 here. So Palantir, right to the downside. We talked about, it's so stupid because I've done this before on Palantir, where I tell you that it's like, not really worth trading on the day that there's news, and then we're dug in long now. So, okay, but now it's Palantir, 35.41, so we're out 30 cents again here, which, if you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. But yeah, this is generally a level there. So we drop it there. So we fall in a hole. We get out on Palantir. I'm not going to let this one go. These are some of the little paper cuts that I take every day with the upside and the downside. But today, right now, things falling down. So watch out for the downside on a lot of these names, guys.
Sean, I just noticed Nano Dimension. I don't know if anyone has been following this one, but I mean, for me today, as someone who likes to usually short, yesterday was such a good day for me going long, which isn't usually always the case in some of these names, but the Nano Dimension was probably due for something like this, and anytime you get a parabolic move like that, which just had a clean 12 break, and then you had this high off the open and a big flush yesterday off of 1785. And the only reason I'm going through this because this is one that I can never miss again. And then you get another parabolic move in the pre-market, that 7 o'clock ramp. Could not push through that 1785, and I just got cost breaking that 10, 15 level, guys. If it can break through 10, I want to be adding to that price. If it doesn't, I want to get it rather quickly. But just to finish the thought here, and then we hold the lower consolidation on NNDM. It's one of those like obvious fade trades where the risk reward is going to be there in plum. Here is 1520 to 1530 that maybe gives you an actionable bottom, but it cratered through there when there was that market flush last time, so I won't be bottom picking in Nano Dimension. That just seems a little too spicy for me.
Okay, well, we did bottom pick a little bit here on Palantir, so we're not going to explode the money. It's a 40-cent win, but screw you. Like, this is right where we had it, man. Our average price was 43s or 41s or something, and it just took us out on that 10 break. Now we're going back to the upside, so a nice little win backside now on Palantir, but hard to celebrate it because we did drop off the majority of those shares there. We noticed that little wick maybe signaling the bottom, so we did get back in and just took some off in the 30s there. We only took off 80 or 20% there, left us with 80% left. So I don't know if Palantir is going to go back. I think we got to like take some profits when they're there, and I'm going to plan on doing that one more time. You'll see me get out again. I just put another order at 45. I don't know, it's only at 30, but we'll see if we can get back there and maybe take some out right now. As Palantir, very disappointing today for me, but you know, a couple drops there. We got out at a pretty bad spot, but I really thought we could have tanked even further. So a good out for me on Palantir and a good back in, but I just wish we would have put some of that money in our pocket instead of throwing it away and then getting back in. So, but anyways, Palantir now, good trade, 30 cents in the money. We're going to celebrate it. It's a good one. So let's see it go. My next order is right here to get a little bit more out.
Yeah, and just got into GE there, waiting for it to come back to that sort of 65 area that was actionable. Look, it falls off at 1185, couldn't even get to VWAP. That was a chop zone in the pre-market, so always pay attention to these when you see them. If you already scalped off the bottom, that is. For me, if it breaks that 60, I'm just going to get out of this one. I said I'd give it one more try here, and I'm going to do exactly that. Your name here, DraftKings, I actually got to check in and see what GAN is doing in a second, but DraftKings had a second breakout, this like 55, and I actually only noticed this just now because Andre was thanking you for the call on DraftKings there, Sean, with the super chat, so thank you, Andre.
Yeah.
It's coming back to this 55 in VWAP and bouncing. Well, it bounced once off this level, but did not get very far. And with a lot of these names sort of coming back in, these momentum names, it would not shock me to see a nice little quick scalp trade through 55, which I'd like to get. But it's like an in and out. Like, I want to get this one fast and then see if I can slip out of it very quickly as well. I might only go like 30 or 40 cents before it bounces. Brendan is ready. Wow. For a small cap recap, it's 10:20 already.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time morning flying along here. Let's have a look at a few that were moving around in the pre-market. This one, VTNR, huge gap early on this morning. It did nothing but just fade that gap. The entire morning was very obviously the weakest of the group, even going into the open, which was around here. 250 ended up being support initially. Once it was broken, you can assume it's going to be resistance. So it was working off of this 250 level. Wanted way more than this, but that was all it gave you. There was a buyer down there just in front of 2 that seemed to be collecting a lot of shares, but nice opportunity there for VTNR. If you found that one in the pre-market, EXPR, the other one I mentioned right before the open, 4 and then 420 resistance from yesterday. This was just obviously weak going into the open. It just could not get above 350 even, and then we got the flush down to 280. So a nice opportunity there. Mentioned that EXPR and BlackBerry. Yeah, these guys were long. Was making money short. So $20 here was support initially on the way down. Had a nice retest of 1975 to 1980. Big flush initially all the way down through, I guess it was 17.5 at the bottom there. Still having trouble bouncing off the bottom there for BlackBerry, guys. Back over to you.
It really is. That's why it's like I've been thinking about adding at 18, but it's like if you don't get it in front of that 17 or as close to it in front of that 1750, you're just not getting as big wins here. And because that's literally like one of a couple of names here that I'm actually up on today, the other one actually being this KOSS, despite missing the post-halt trade on this, which twice missing the post-halt trade, taking out the bottom of that 1015 was worth waiting for. It's also broke 10 even. I got my 15s out here. So you'll see me short at 10 even now. Give it back to that quarter mark and then see if it can't get back to where this jumped off at 950. at 7 o'clock this morning at 9.50. The price that is. For any of you that are actually, for whatever reason, still interested in what is not moving today, GameStop's not really going anywhere, but it did just bounce off of 80 even and is trying to get back to that 85 level. It's starting, if this runs out of juice, there was like that 70 level, that 65 to the downside that are worth watching, but here's a double bottom for you at 81. If that breaks, could get very, very interesting. If it goes semi-parabolic and turns at 95, that's a good enough level, because I remember 95 from yesterday, Sean, and that was a pretty actionable trade to be had. Nano Dimensions is bouncing, and I want to fade this one if I can. This one's been due for a pullback. It did have this little consolidation or test to get back to like 17 even that failed. So if I can pick it up around 16.50, that's what I'll go ahead and try to do. Maybe add to it in the 65, 70 area. Don't let it get past 17. Will be the nature of the game for me. But I want to get into some of these short plays if they're going to give me some decent prices and levels to work off of.
Yeah, I wonder if some of these stocks are finally going to start coming back at some point, because like we just got out of our AMC and then it comes right back. So yeah, we're going to have to look at some more levels here. Like AMC cracks that bottom right here, and we got out, and then it builds this, and we should have got back in. But I still like that 485, yeah, maybe a little bit higher. 490-ish level. I mean, right near where VWAP is to get AMC to go back. But yeah, we probably should look at GameStop a little bit. Okay, Workhorse has been working, so we'll hit a backflip for that one. Still in this trade, still looking for it to take out 30. We're long at 29. That's a good play. Oh, and what's up, Mike? One of my friends, Mike there. Mikey D, good friend of mine, and in our base, well, not in this base, we'll put in another one. He said, what stock should we be buying? And I said, well, you should stop shorting Twitter, because he was talking about shorting Twitter on that President Trump, since they got rid of, well, former President Trump, when they banned him, he loved those shorts. And I was like, well, he's gone now. So now you got to take the long, and a nice little move up. I know that Twitter bought somebody as well, but a nice little move back upside on Twitter. So congratulations to you, Mikey D. And then Palantir to the upside as well, looking for 35.70, 35.74. Good long from there. I just wish we still would have had those, but it did break through 35 almost. Well, it did, and we got out. So now Palantir starts to run. Damn you, Palantir, damn you. I wish we had more shares on it, but we do not. Palantir, nice little run, though.
Yeah, I mean, it finally made a bit of a move there. I tapped out of it. We said that Pepsi probably wasn't going to be a big runner off that Beyond Meat collabo. I don't know why I'm saying collabo, but collaboration. It didn't do much of anything. It's now back to flat. So sometimes it's about avoiding a bit of a trap, and I think it might have been a trap if you played too heavily into that hand. The flip side of that coin was what I thought maybe outside chance that maybe the term would be at like a 250 on Beyond Meat. It doesn't even hold the 200 level. It tried bouncing twice. Now, had it not broken 200 here once and twice, I probably would have been trying to bottom pick this. But if on a move like that, if you violate the level twice, I'm just not going to take it. That's just not enough strength for me. It could maybe find a base at a 194 area, and this was like $2 or $3 worth of chop. But that's so close to here at a 200 break. Let's wait to see Beyond Meat actually make a sideways bottom before getting involved into it. I did pick up that Nano Dimensions. I'm going to start working into that position. And BlackBerry, still holding on to this. It's testing VWAP again. But because I've already sort of taken the profit here, I'm going to do my best to see if we can't still try to hold on for a 19 break. It is struggling, but it's showing some signs. If we can get through this 1850 here, suddenly maybe even buying it above that 1850 for another push, another leg higher is seemingly possible here, guys. So I'm going to hang on to BlackBerry. I'm not really done with the idea that this can still go higher. Brennan.
Yeah, the other end of that story this morning regarding BlackBerry, this one, Baidu, down 2% this morning, guys. Still trying to hold, though, this 250 kind of pivot here. We're right at 250 right now for Baidu, but weak so far today, down 2%.
Okay, so we're going to spin the money around because we take some more on Palantir there. Still not happy because we dumped it, but we'll take it right there. Oh, and then the big one, though, is Workhorse, because here we go. Long 29 and still holding. It goes all the way to 30.50 there. Oh, yeah, and by the way, if you rewind the tape, I talked about that 30.50 level right there, and that's where we went to. So good little spot there. I think we could probably get out now, but we still do have all-time highs coming. 31.40 now is all-time highs. So let's take a 30.50 break, I think. Worth it for a little bit more shares and see if we can get up to 31.39. But right now, there it goes. I don't have it. There it goes. Nice little long here on Workhorse as we are still long 29. The magical level was 28, but we missed it. But here we go to the high side. A beautiful trade. Hot dogs for everyone, including you, Lori. 30.76. $1.80 in the money right now. And you know what? I was just noticing this as well here. 3.2 likes. We have 12,000 watching. I mean, if you're trading Workhorse today, that Palantir bottom, we've been hitting that as well. 3.2, this should be at least at 4. So I know Miss V's not here, but we're gonna report back, guys. Hit the like. It's only 10:30 right now. We have an interview coming up later, but 3.3K is not gonna do it. Let's get this a little higher. Record number of views again today in a crazy market. So I'm gonna check back, but guys, please, please, please hit that like. The show is completely free. We're doing it for you, and we're having a great time, and I hope you're having the winners. There goes Workhorse as well. Bang, right to all-time highs of 31.30. Beautiful trade. Let's take it off as it rejects that. Get it off around 31, guys, if we can.
Yeah, and I was just actually tweeting out that on this DHI, and one of the reasons why you shouldn't, and it's easy to break your rules here because if you miss a trade, you want to chase that profit sometimes, and I did miss this opportunity in DHI. I did try to talk about it and then not catch the breakout. I do defend the bottom, which I actually kind of liked. I think it's a good trade. It's a good idea at least. But if you don't get out when it takes out the low in this situation, it's just an extra, buck that is it's just gonna burn you, right? And it's very, very easy to say, okay, let's hang on, let's give it all the way down to like the lows from yesterday. But that's not the thesis when I'm picking up this bottom off the opening range low. That's you're holding it to the low of the day. That's the entry. That's the exit. That I'm going to go with. You can't turn it into a different style of trade. Otherwise, you start exacerbating some of those losses. Speaking about losses, well, it's not a loss, but it's another missed opportunity. I just sort of gave the idea why I wasn't going into this Beyond Meat on the bit of a bounce play. Let it go level off a little bit. It is actually now back above that 200, so there is a chance that this 195 itself could be the hold instead of that little band beneath it that I've been waiting around for between 93 and 95, that 94 area. So Beyond Meat's trying to get a push. It's been all downside since going to 227, which that's a 158 close. That's why you're seeing it up so much despite the pullback.
Shit. Crap. Nothing. There goes Microsoft right now to the high side. We have this one. Let's just get it out, man, like a gun right now, just firing off on Softy. So getting it out. Boom! We love you, Microsoft. Thank you so much as it continues to go to the high side right now. 30, 35, 31, 32. It's on like an auctioneer right now as we take Microsoft through the day's high there. Good trade, 233. Scalping it out for quarters right now. We'll see if we can hold a little bit, but we're already out of 2/3. I don't know. I was hitting keys like a maniac there. I'm not even sure how much we had to get in the first place. I think a third out right now. So we're going to the upside right now on Microsoft. A nice little 30-cent win, bringing us back to life right now. That's for damn sure. Workhorse, beautiful win out at 31. That's a $2 winner. So slaying dragons now. The same thing happened yesterday. We started going parabolic with our net later on in the show. Let's see if we can do it again. What up, Pete?
Tilray just popping back up on volume here, guys. We're trying to hold above $19, so we came back into that high from the pre-market. 11% still for Tilray on that medical marijuana deal with France, guys.
Attaboy, France.
Yeah, France making moves. Anyways, I just want to quickly remind everybody, we do educational videos all the time, and I want to make this point because I was just talking about the one hit that I just took on, which one was it? It was actually DHI Horton. But cost was also a loss for him. I'm going to go over in a second, but risk management is something that you can't divorce from any winning trades that you have. It is a part of the process. We took a lot of time and care in doing this video for you to help you guys not just make more money, but save yourself from the days that you are going to be red, which today is one for me. So watch out for that link. It should be getting dropped in the chat. Check it out on our Market Wisdom page. We have other videos as well. We've covered short squeezes, which is also relevant right now, so you can check out that video. But KOSS, and again, it just comes down to not being stubborn. I thought if it broke that 10-15, the floodgates could open. My plan, if it doesn't go right away, get out. So I get some out for the quick little scalp down to 980. That's going to be a profitable trade. It breaks. I don't hold. I don't double down. None of that nonsense. Just get out of the trade and then walk away. And then, if it gives another opportunity, it gives you another opportunity. But that's another easy one where if I got too undisciplined there, it would have been an even bigger hit. Thankfully, I stayed away from it. And again, I missed the trade I would have liked, which is that reentry after the halt trade. So do not get reckless just because you missed an opportunity in this chalk before. Do not chase those profits, Brendan.
Another one that's kind of been dragged along with this multi-day move with these highly shorted stocks. NNOX, guys, all-time highs here this morning. Was up 10%. Bit of a pullback here, but you can see huge volume at all-time highs for NanoX Imaging.
So we've had a absolutely stellar, I mean, Neil just said about being negative. We haven't been negative one time yet in January, but it looks like today may be that day. Follow me on Twitter for updates on that one as we go in the afternoon. But I haven't even been negative on the show yet once, but that may happen today because, you know, stocks just didn't go my way today. And that was a good video that you put up there. But Microsoft is sure as hell going our way. And this could turn the day, right? So 233 upside. It didn't touch 234. But we are ripping for a nice little 40-cent win. We talked about that. This is now all-time high on Microsoft was 232.80. Look, I mean, we wrote it down right there. I don't even know why I went long 233, but there's the Microsoft with multiple stars there. 232.86 all-time highs. That's what we liked. We also liked GE at the bottom, 12.25, but that never happened, so we don't have to worry. But here goes Microsoft, a nice little in and out there. We're pretty light on this now as it just fell down 40 cents. But watch out, Microsoft, everything reporting, right, guys? After market, so it should be a big day for tech tomorrow. What's up, Beep?
Big volume spike here, guys, on both, looks like General Motors and Qualcomm. This is Qualcomm here. I'll show you this one first. QCOM and Amazon deepen strategic engagement with the pre-integration of Alexa and Snapdragon chips from Qualcomm into automotive cockpit platform that they're both working on. So big volume just came in there on QCOM, guys.
Qualcomm, that's when we left for dead. Just a quick adjustment. I said 1850, we'd look to start taking a long trade on BlackBerry if it does look like it's showing enough strength. That, of course, was that pre-market low. I just put the stop order in now, but it's not going to be 50. It's going to be above. I want it to hold above that level. It's going to be about an 1860 that I'll take that little break. It's putting in successive higher lows here, so the other way to catch it is if it dips down to 18 and holds my bottom pick as well. I'm down to literally that last 10% of the position, so I'm looking to build back into it. A couple of ways to do that here, both in front of 18 if that holds, or an 1860 break, not necessarily 50.
Yeah, okay. So GM, I've recently bought that. We talked about it on the show, 48.70. Let's check out what it's at right now, 52 and change. So GM actually coming back down a little bit to life. It was yesterday pretty high. Oh, no, it wasn't yesterday. Was it the day? Yeah, it must have been the day before. Yeah, $55, $56. So that was good. GM coming back into some levels where I think you could buy that. That was another question that we had on the AMA there yesterday about GM. So I talked about that as well as Ford. For some reason, the market didn't go down too much, but Microsoft for some reason
GameStop just is about to hold.
Yeah, we'll go back to GameStop in a second. We did average into this Microsoft, trying to give it to this bottom here of 232. So let's watch out. B, you got something?
It was BlackBerry.
Yeah, it looks like Chamath. I'll show you this if I can. He just posted this on Twitter. This is Chamath Palihapitiya's Twitter account. 50 looks like calls, guys. So 115 calls on GME. He's talking about on Twitter for GameStop, guys.
Allowed to do that. I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. That's what it is. Like, you know, you get a genius like Chamath is, and I love the guy, Brendan. You know that for sure. But like, that's going to rifle GameStop to the north side big time. So I guess that's where the halt was. Yeah. Like, it's just, it shouldn't be allowed, but no, it is.
That move just triggered me long into BlackBerry because obviously some of these names are moving in concert, and you get that move up and then halts it to the upside, and then what I thought was a bit more of a structured trade in BlackBerry just gets triggered in on this crazy momentum. Because of that case, if it gets back up to the 70s, I'll probably just take some of this out because, you know, if that's not the reason I was hoping to get into this trade. I thought it would just on its own matriculate to the upside. So I'll trim here at like 68. And again, I'm in at the 61. If it breaks the high, I was looking for it to go past 19 anyways. But now all of a sudden I have to watch because if GameStop opens and then flushes, I'm probably having to cover this BlackBerry because it's going to retest the low just because the vampire horde's going to be at them again. But either way, it looks like it'll be like a 5-minute hold for GameStop, and I'll be watching that because I saw what happened when GameStop yesterday started its turn to the downside if you were holding BlackBerry, and I know because I was, and then it turned hard, and I had to reverse quickly into short on BlackBerry and then get out of a Bed Bath & Beyond trade, which was long and in the money the whole time. And then when GameStop came to the south side, it was the same story here. You just had to watch it because the money started coming out of all these names at once. I'm not in Bed Bath & Beyond here. If this is going to break 95, it's a pure momentum play. We're looking at that level anyway, so I guess we'll have to watch that one reopen.
Wrong button there, but okay, hot dogs, I guess. Microsoft comes back to the upside. Sorry about that, Neil. Microsoft comes out to the upside, 233.11.
Like hot dogs.
Now moving. So I meant to explode some money there because good trades on the board for both of us right now. I just was wondering why Microsoft went down there, and it does touch that 232.60. So we took a long, and ho-hum, we're back. The pins get lined up and we bowl them right over there. So a nice little pickup there on Microsoft. If I'm ever watching something like Palantir and it makes a move that doesn't make any sense to me, then I'm going to take that move and ride it to the high side. Yeah, things are going well, needless to say right now. Palantir up 90 cents, a nice little dollar from this bottom pick. Wish we still had these buys, but we don't. So nice little move up. Yeah, that got pretty high there, up to 36.50. Almost back to day's high on Palantir. Microsoft now a 70-cent winner from the bottom. Hallelujah. And then we picked up some more AMC down here, guys. So let's see if that one can get going. Chamath, just say you have like $6 calls on AMC. That would be nice.
Oh, you probably go deeper than that. I kind of say that half jokingly. We didn't talk about American Express, but I just noticed that one also to the downside. That could be worth a look a little bit later on in the show just to see where some levels might be. I think we have to wait for Visa as well for their earnings. AMC, like you mentioned here, Sean, I'm going to get back on the radar for me. I've been trying to be very, very patient with AMC. I had like shorts, longs, sort of in and out, scalping it in the pre-market off of around this like 490 area in both directions. I really, really prefer this between 430 and 450. If you look at this this range-bound trend that it had, it's now touched the top end of that range and bounced off of it, which isn't horrible for an entry. But with BlackBerry, we're so better off allowing it to break into the range and then take the long that I've been trying to wait for it to get down to like a 440, 450. I'm just not sure at this point if it's going to happen, especially with the move that GameStop just did here to the upside. So I might have to catch us in front of 460. Brennan.
I mentioned this one earlier, guys, but speaking of Chamath, he's a board member of Space, guys. 11% just broke through $40 on a huge volume spike here for Space, now 11.5%.
Got a key for that. I can never find it fast enough when I have the key for the to the moon. But there's no point having a to the moon graphic if you're not going to use it when Virgin Galactic heads to the upside. Let's keep in mind there is of course Virgin Orbit, which is rumored to be going with a SPAC as well. There's all kinds of other names you can play when it comes to the ARK ETF. We've been talking a little bit about Maxar as well, but Virgin Galactic is probably the nice one here in a 40 break. Man, I didn't see this coming. It's just when you get this bounce off of like 38, I kind of thought we'd be fading off of this level, but Virgin Galactic is off to the races. I just got the first entry into AMC here, first trade since like probably like 8 in the morning for me. 71s. I'm trying to build something in front of that 460 instead of 430.
Okay,
I'm likely to take a short in Virgin if this gets too crazy. I kind of feel like it's going to go squeeze central in some regards, and just the momentum is absolutely crazy here. And BlackBerry, I'm making another run. The 19 even now on BlackBerry. This is kind of crazy, guys.
Yeah, we got this one right now. It's a big banger. It's a big roller coaster for us. We hit it again, man. BlackBerry is one of my top stocks today as the money keeps spinning in on this one, guys. A beautiful trade here on BlackBerry. Upside, we punched that long pretty hard again through 80s. So yeah, we're just scalping it out for dime pieces right now. Good trade. We like dime pieces. So that's a good one right now. Take it out. I mean, I'd love for it to break 19. But for right now, let's see what's happening everywhere with happening now in Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, quick look at the overall S&P 500. We are positive, but only just, tough to see there, but 0.08% for the S&P 500. All about this group, front and center so far. You can see pretty mixed elsewhere. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to talk about this. Twitter picking up that review this morning. Quiet deal. Wasn't a lot of coverage of that, but a publication company that they immediately said, publication website, they immediately said they're going to make all of their paid services free, and anyone who does have a paid subscription getting a 5% discount. So positive here, 6% for Twitter. Fox A is here, Fox is here, Viacom, Discovery as well, all 3.5% to 6%. So communication stocks making up most of the positivity. Energy stocks are positive as well, but only just. We have this little real estate group down here as well, also in positive territory. Industrials, though, kind of offsetting that outside of GE, 6.3% for GE. 3M is here as well. We talked about having a positive day off of earnings, but the rest of this group is all very, very negative, offsetting that and then some. Tech stocks also in negative territory, led by the semiconductor group here. We talked about QCOM. QRVO is here 2.5%, AMAT, LRCX, to name a few. Intel, though, standing out here as positive, 1% to the upside, where everything else is in negative territory. ACAM, CTXS in the software names, positive. Everything else, though, to the downside. Far corner here, utility stocks in the material sector also in the red. So overall, a lot of positivity being offset by individual groups that are negative today. So the market is basically dead flat, but lots of individual opportunity, guys. 2 days in a row. Back over to you.
Yeah, we did get a reopen here on GameStop. It did come to the downside, so that's all the reason why. We're just going to cancel a stop order there. Why do I have that and that? Just canceling some orders there on GameStop. That's why I took some profit on not Bed Bath & Beyond, but BlackBerry right up at the top. This is when GameStop opened back up, and you did see it make a top before falling off. GameStop's back to this 90 even area. I'm still holding some long, but this is the breakout long that we got, I guess, when that tweet came out. Either way, we're going to take this trade. It just so happened to trigger. Sometimes you get lucky. That's a little bit of luck where market event gets you in a position anyways that you're probably going to have. If we can bounce off you up here, I'd love a reload in BlackBerry. I'm going to keep playing this one to the long side. I always feel like if you have like a rough day, and I'm going to be down today, well, I am down today. We'll see what happens because I have a couple of positions. It can be position dependent, but your most active stock should be the one that you've had the best read on, hence why mostly BlackBerry I've been involved in. I did just get into that AMC trade, but I just started it at 71 because I'm playing off the 60 level instead of the 430 to 450 that I liked. If GameStop breaks 95, things could get out of hand, so I'm going to see if I can get that break. It's been really tricky to catch breakout trades on GameStop, but I will try it at 95 on a pure momentum play as always.
Yeah, 95 was that early trade.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go AMC. We had GameStop there early, but right now it's AMC that's falling some money down for us a little bit. Some 66 pickup, my largest buy of AMC today at 63, defending this 60 area, and the 60 area goes back down right here. This little yesterday's high there that we were looking at, that's the area that we defended. So now it comes up to 75 and we're loaded. So yeah, let's go on AMC now to the high side right now. We'll see if we can make a little bit of money there. And then BlackBerry's right back at it, man. We loaded up. Needless to say, we've loaded up on this position right there, made some money. Now we're loading up now and we've got this trade. And yeah, let's just see if BlackBerry could get back here 1970, 1980, something like that. I mean, I don't know. We're scalping it back and forth here like crazy. Haven't really made too much. These are little small plays. I actually want to get longer if we can get into the 50s, but there it is, a nice little out at 94. So we did take that. And now we'll just wait, man, to see if we can break through 19, take off some 19 dimes, something like that in this area where we had some problems, 1910, 1920 initially. If we can get there, we'll get there. But if not, we'll load up again and then watch out for this 52 break. But there goes AMC. Hell yeah, AMC breaking higher, guys. What's up, Beep?
Not seeing anything initially on this, but Digital Ally here just popped up, guys. 10% now on volume. Huge volume spike. Going to check on Digital Ally.
Yeah, I actually just, we always get flack for not having Canadian content in the show, but every now and then there's something just sort of popped into my radar. I was just looking at the score. Certainly, obviously, semi-involved in the mobile gaming space here. It's been on a bit of a run lately, so when I saw the pullback that this had just made, and I noticed that DraftKings was looking rather strong on its own today, I started thinking about, okay, where's this one with a bit of a pickup? As GameStop just goes down back to 87. So I'm not gonna load back into BlackBerry off this 1850 level while that's free falling. But I'm just actually looking at like a 220 to 240 in the next few days if the score continues this muted pullback that it is on right now. That's a mouthful. PHUN. I sort of said this, and we talked about following your rules here. Because this spike to the upside was on volume, I both limited the amount that I rolled into shares and tightened up my stop. You're going to see that I made the top wick on a short here, and it comes right back down to test that level. So does it mean that the call was right for the short trade, was level good? Yeah, that's true, but every now and then, if you want to try to limit the amount of risk on a stock, you're going to give up some upside. And if you're going to play the short game on these gappers, sometimes you're going to get out at the high of the day. You're going to see me get out the high of the day. So, well, since the open, it was higher in the pre-market. It's going to happen. It'll be pie in my face, and you can throw it at me if you want. I can take it. It's going to happen. It happens more often than you probably know. One more name here, because we did mention Lordstown. I'm not sure exactly why. I think I'm fairly certain I said this 26 even area, if it bounced, I did want to have a look at it. But I've definitely traded a few too many names here today because it's been so active and missed a huge chance because, I talked about Ride and Workhorse. We talked about Ride and Workhorse here, both these names moving. You had a chance for Ride to lag this move, especially on that dip buy opportunity. So hopefully, man, I'm hoping somebody got that trade because it was almost too easy after Workhorse had already made its move.
Okay, so BlackBerry, we're at 57. We've just taken some out there. We took it defending that bottom. It spiked all the way down. I don't know. We have an 1839 out there. So I guess that probably didn't hit, but we are into BlackBerry right now at 57. So we were trying to give it about that 20 cents. But it's not breaking 60 here. So this is what we talked about the other day. Okay, there it goes. So it's finally, we're talking about some iceberg orders there, but there's the break. So a nice little break upside now on BlackBerry. We got to take some, we just did get some out there. 66s. I just put a 68 out. Let's see if we can grab that one to the high side. Give it to me. Did I get it there? No, we did not. We missed it, but there it is. Give it to me again. Yes, we got it. So there it is through 68. Boom. A nice little win there for BlackBerry. We slay this dragon back and forth a couple times. One of my top stocks, but realistically, not realistically, actually, my number one stock today is Softy. You guys know how much I love this stock, so a 233 break of all-time highs was a no-brainer for me. And then this, for some reason, dropped down there. We reloaded, and now look at Softy, guys. 234, 235. One of my largest positions in my long-term account continues to work for us, up 2%. Watch out. It's going to be a big earnings report, I think, anyways, for Softy. And there goes AMC finally. Boom! Another one for AMC as we get some falling down money finally right now for us on AMC. Let's get some out 79s. We just took some 80s out right there. Our long is 64 from downside right now. So if AMC can get back to VWAP, we'll be a pretty happy guy at that point. But let's see what happens. And yes, Facebook. We put on our Twitter the other day, Facebook buy 271. We're in that name. It's 283. I think this one, I called out Mark Roberts yesterday. We talked about Facebook. I like this one for earnings this week. Now you're going off on Facebook. Let's just keep on mooning, guys, on Facebook. I think we touched 300. Let's see what happens. Everything working out now. Microsoft, $1.25 in the money. Are you entertained? Palantir, $1.90 in the money. BlackBerry, 15 cents. Okay. And then AMC, another 15 cents in the money as well. So we're 4 for 4 right now, making back some of what we lost earlier on. But a big move, a big breakout on Microsoft, and your boys got it. So that's worth a backflip.
That's what I'm saying. Like, stick to what is actually working for you on the day. That's why you'll only see AMC, BlackBerry to the upside. I do want to come back to Tesla if I can because it is rounding off here. Finally participating in some move to the upside. Didn't get to 860. Remember, that's the level we've been talking about that was previous resistance turning into possible support. So there was no long at the bottom for me trying to bottom pick it. But if we can break out from here, make another run to that 900, a couple of things. I do want a 900 break when it does happen the second time. The first was a failed break. It was a good short. Now I'm looking at this sort of 888. 888 area to the upside. There was a pullback in the pre-market here to 888, and then there was some resistance off of the open when it did fall to the downside. So looking for that in the afternoon. 888 on Tesla. As far as GameStop goes, it's now well away from that. I shouldn't say that. It's now below that 90 area, so that 95 break might not be happening. Nokia has run out of steam, but I'm now looking at a different trade for this PHUN. Yes, I got shaken out of it. But remember where I was trying to get out at that 205 in front of 2 bottom? If it breaks 2, I'm going to go short on a 2 break. Once it shakes out some of the weaker hands, you can get some real momentum here. This was support. It's holding it right now at 205. It's a 2 even break that I'd like. But I've done this before where I get in on the low break at 05 and then add to the position at 2 even. That's what I would like to do here. There's so much liquidity. I think it's a safer trade to be able to do both the entries instead of just the one.
So Microsoft going off, guys, $1.50 now in the money. It did get as high as 12 there, so that was a good trade for us. We're still running that one to the high side. BlackBerry's been a monster for us today as well. We've talked about that. And then AMC right now trying to get back to the high side. But that's, you might have heard me under my breath there because it doesn't want to break 80. And if that doesn't happen, then we're going to have to keep dumping it. And then I'll feel bad when it finally does break 80. But we got to trade what we see. And we got some questions yesterday on our AMA that was talking about, like, what do we see where we get out? And I just think this is a perfect example right here again with AMC just resisting that 80. You can look at charts all you want, but if it doesn't want to get out, If it doesn't want to go up, then you got to take it out a little bit. So we just punched 78 there. Mistake. We gave up a penny there. We could have got 79s. But let's watch to see what there goes to the downside. So good out. I just said mistake and then it went down. I said good. So, okay, a little bit more out there on AMC. Let's work this trade. But right now, we got money talks. You know how important that is with Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, let's have a look at cryptocurrencies and all things currency exchanges. Yeah, they're taking a little bit of a breather here today, all in negative territory. Not huge moves, but we were at 14 yesterday for Ethereum, back towards 12.8 or 1280, I should say, for Ethereum. Let's have a look at what else is going on here. Pretty strong for most of the currencies versus the US dollar. A little US dollar weakness coming back in ahead of the Fed coming up tomorrow. We'll talk about that more tomorrow, I can imagine. Both the euro and the Canadian dollar, about 1/4 percentage point to the upside. The British pound here, 0.4%. I put the Australian dollar up on the chart over there. I'll talk about it in a sec, but 0.5% here for the Aussie, 77.5. New Zealand following suit as well, 0.6%. But we came in to these support levels on, this is an hourly chart on the currency chart here, 76.5 ended up being the bottom end of the range once again, and a big pop again this morning back towards 77. There's no real news supporting why both of these are strong today, but again, with that Fed decision coming tomorrow, no one's expecting any movement, but a lot of these going to be a little bit higher again today versus the US dollar, guys.
This is turning into a moonshot on both Workhorse and Ride. You're just sort of seeing the push continue. On the higher time frame, just a quick look here, because on the way towards what obviously will be the high at 30, the previous high, it got through 30, but there was a sharp turnaround, so 30 is kind of the level. There is this like 28.75, like secondary top, lower high that got put on the daily chart. If that is worth a look, there might be some sideways action there. I've probably said this before, but anytime you have what is this sort of like a continuous, linear, straight shot movement to the upside without any clear parabolic moves, there's just not that over exuberance to make me want to jump into a short trade in this also because it's overall space, not space itself, but the space, the EV space is moving in consortium today. I'm going to stay away from shorting this unless it's at 30, unless there's just a crazy parabolic move up, unless I see some kind of a crazy halt. A halt to the upside. We're going to go to Brennan. I just got that quick short on a 55 break on DraftKings. See if I can scalp this one down for a quick little trade. Brendan, what's up?
For what it's worth, guys, Citron's Andrew left, just saying that he's still short GameStop. So for whatever that is worth at this point, he is still short this stock, guys.
Don't believe.
Okay, so that's good. I mean, I guess it hasn't really gone. Okay, we just got out of Microsoft there. Good trade. Let's check back on GameStop. Okay, so he's still short. That's good. Let's see what's going on. 90, 91, 92. I guess it depends on where you got your short. I know that there's a big trade that happened up at like 150, 170 there. No, sorry, 160 was the high. But it was about 150 there yesterday before that halt. So those traders now in the money. This is that Chamath tweet there. And I don't know if it showed how many contracts he had, but if it wasn't that many, then who cares? But we'll wait to see there, because that caused a huge move upside. And I guess maybe it wasn't a big position. I don't know if he tweeted 50 contracts. Yeah, so not huge there, but still big enough. I guess that's 5,000 shares, right? Each contract worth about 100 shares there. So yeah, and we had Workhorse and we dropped it off, and I think we did a good job there. We got out at 30.80, basically where it is now. We did leave it $1 on the table there for you guys, but a 29 long, manage it however you want. We take out 30 cents quickly and then we hold it for $2. So we'll take a $2 win on Workhorse and run away from it, but that's that trade right now. AMC, we told you there was some trouble spots there, so we got out. We saw it resisting at 80. We got out. We're back in at 74, but I really do want to put some more trades on, or some more shares on when, and again, you saw this move happen. So when and if it ever comes back to 466 or so, we'll get back into that name. And then Palantir, we're holding 10% left, and it looks like it wants to fade back in. Still a decent break spot at 36 if it comes back, but that's a 70-cent winner for now.
Yeah, I talked about this being a quick trade in DraftKings. That's where you're going to see me get the 55 break, immediately scalp off a couple legs. It got down here to like 54.60, and I quickly tried to get out of the last third of it, just for the last like 40-cent winner. That was going to be the plan all along. Now that it's stabilized, I was willing to manually punch out of this if it didn't immediately go. But now that it's sort of hanging around below 55, I'll just give myself a 55 out. I didn't want to be in the short position too long. That was one of the things where when you're a day trader, a lot of times if you're willing to hold a trade all day long, reload, you have a level you're working off of, like a BlackBerry here, which actually goes back below VWAP when it broke 50s. I got out of that trade. But you're willing to sort of load into it, play off of that level time and time again, hold the trade all day. That's very separate from like a breakout trade or a breakdown trade in that case in DraftKings, where I'm not anticipating holding that for more than a few minutes. You sort of put on a lot of different hats here, which you guys will see us do from time to time. I think we do a pretty solid job of reminding you, hey, I'm trying to hold this one for a long time. This is the level I'm working off of. DraftKings was always going to be a scalp trade for me, meaning I wanted to be in and out rather quickly. Once again, GameStop is sort of leveling off and doing a heck of a lot of nothing. The halt has worked. Every time it's halted, it's sort of not only calmed down, but watch what's happened here. Whether it halted down here or to the upside here, this was actually covering along. I don't know why they showed a short. I actually lost on the last little bit of my long position getting out there. If you look at this 85 and all the way up to this like 90, sort of maybe 91 range, this is like the chop zone that I would say stay away from in terms of trade. Breaking out of here probably is going to give you some actionable trades, whether it's a scalp 85 down to like an 81, or if we break this 91 into that 95. But in the middle, you just see all of this whippy action. That's going to be a no-fly zone for me on GameStop. I will have a look at it southbound of 85. I will have a look at it breaking out definitely through 95, where my order is still to go, where I think it would be a pure squeeze to the upside. But in the middle, GameStop's not worth it today. What was probably worth it, that is certainly leveling off, and open this up by saying J&J might not be a day trade, and then it broke out right here at 170. Market is inching higher here in the NASDAQ. The ES is just basically a positive. This ramps to the upside. This feels like the easiest scalp trade ever. J&J breaking through 171.25. Again, this will be a scalp. I think it's more like take some shares, see if you can't get it out on the way down to a 172 if it goes right away, but it's consolidating higher. It's still up on the day. It already put in a big time move. It's starting to slow down a little bit, but if the market can hold up, that's one of the caveats here. I would like a J&J for a quick little trade. Ideally, you can catch something like that in power hour or in the afternoon, but it could round as the upside during lunchtime, so beggars can't be choosers. Move happens when it happens. Watching 171.25 now on Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, I love Johnson & Johnson. A big trade there for anybody that has that one long where we talked about it. Okay, so here we go. We're long 74 on AMC. I wish we would have took some more, or I wish we would have. Well, you know what? I was bidding 67, 68, similar to where we were before, and it just never got down there. It briefly touched 70. Unless you were on some kind of an inverted gateway, I don't know if you would have got filled there. And then so now I still like a break of this high. It's got to break above 80, and if we can do that on AMC, then I think we're cruising right now. So let's wait for a break above 80 on J&J, or sorry, on AMC, and then we'll wait to go. Workhorse still working. And then GE, I mean, we've lost on GE, but it just continues to go down. Some of our outs pretty good, actually here, 80s, 90s, 70s, and then our last try right there was an in and out flush. Now it's to the downside there. GE still up 5%. I just thought there was going to be more on this stock today. I think we could probably go long on this at some point. Let's see, what size is that? 50 quickly? A little bit of size. I don't know if we haven't tested that yet. We kind of did right there. A little bit of size at 50. Let's see if it holds on General Electric. Europe is open, even though Valeria's not here, but we'll settle for Brendan. What's up, B?
In case you missed it, Miss B on vacation. She will be back next week. Let's have a look at what is happening in Europe. FTSE in the UK. 0.4% to the upside today. It was higher than that, but coming off a little bit as we're getting a pullback in some of the U.S. markets as well. Germany, 1.9%, leading the way, almost 2% to the upside. France also having a nice day for the CAC 40, up about 1.4%. Italy, we have Spain up both 1.25%+ to the upside. So a nice day overall. You can see the MOAX in Russia, the only one Where MSV is to the downside today, 0.2% in negative territory. A couple things to look at if you're having a look at some of the European markets so far. Renault getting a nice bump today, along with some of the North American EV makers. Renault just made a big investment into their EV work. So a nice pop here, bouncing off of 32 on the daily chart, up almost 4%, guys, for RNO over in Paris. Back over to you.
RNO, and I saw someone mention Pac B in the chat there. I didn't even notice this move, and whoops, I had my chart there. That was a 1 minute. I wanted to go to the daily chart. I didn't notice this move, and I'm kind of kicking myself. For the first time it pulled back down to 32, I was like, oh, hey, kid, this is on the radar. It's been making these moves. What's the pullback going to be? I mean, really, on a dime, same low, that 32.5. I'm like. Every now and then, and the only way this is gonna work for you is you notice the last time PAC-B did this, it had a couple of days of sharp pullbacks either in the morning or in the late morning, and then find these crazy bottoms. So you had to be thinking about 32.50 in advance, and sort of like with BlackBerry down at like 17.50. If you didn't think, okay, this is the level I want to defend, there's almost no way you can ever catch this trade. Even if I had an alert saying when PAC-B gets or breaks 33, light it up, pull it up on a level 2, add it to my corporate. By the time that all happens, you're likely already on the way back to the upside here. So I'm going to file this level away if we actually can hold off on breaking further to the downside. Just keep in mind, I mean, this entire gene sequence space has been on quite a little bit of a run lately. So there is a chance there is a deeper pullback. 25 actually had with like a big exclamation mark for me if this gets any deeper. But for now, 32.50, a clear and obvious level there on PAC-B. I did have that mixed trade in cost here. We did get a little bit out, and then it came back to the upside. It is still in a downward trend. Now, just remember what I said about styles of trade here. This was going to be a momentum breakdown, so not one I was going to average into, not one I was planning on holding for very long. That's why I only needed a few minutes. It looks like it might retest that level. If we hang out below 10 again, I would look to get into that trade. But this time, it'd be one that I'm hoping to have on weakness all afternoon. The other play would be if this makes any kind of a parabolic move up, I look for this halt bottom at 12 even or 12.15, and then I look for this failed break at 12 even for a bit of a turnaround zone. If this catches a bid, I wouldn't be going long off of it. I'd be looking to see if we can fade it in and around that. I guess I'll call it like 1180 to 1215 area on KOSS. If it breaks through that, it's likely on the way to another parabolic move up in the afternoon. But I'm only looking short on this thing for the rest of the day.
So I just went, what's up, Hydration Nation? I just went to get some water, and I noticed, and I just tweeted it out, the snowstorm has arrived. It's actually snowing quite heavily right now in the T-dot. So there it is right there. Snowing a lot. So I just want to bring that to everyone's attention there, that we are now snowing here in Toronto. So, and I hashtagged the stock snow. So we'll wait to see on that one. GE coming down to 1150. I like this spot. As I type in snow into my chart. No, Sean. You want GE here. 1150, there is a little base here. We could take a decent long spot right now on GE. 1150 coming into play a little bit. There are some levels here. If I drop down a 3-minute chart, if we go back a couple days, as I'm looking, no, it's even further than that. Okay, yeah, here it has to come through. 1150 is all the way up here. So this is the kind of levels that we're looking at right now, defending these 1145s. There's 1150 right there. Probably should have took some longs in there, but I do like GE long right now at 1150, and I'd like AMC if we can get above. AMC is still trying, man. If we can get above this 81, we'll take an AMC long as well.
It's a good hold, man. This AMC, just in terms of, and again, there's obviously different types of momentum behind it, but just from the standpoint of looking at what it did on this way to the downside here, and anytime you can hold above a level like this, which I would have liked for an area of entry, that 65, at the top and then 430 at the bottom, it just held above it and then consolidated higher. So I've actually held off on taking any more out till it gets to 80, and then I'd be looking for that VWAP break. Also watch out because in the afternoon, it just could not break 495. So forget about $5. That 495 could be another area that we have to chew through before we get further momentum to the upside. We have only I think 10 minutes until we have our guest of the day, and there is a lot moving and a lot to cover. There's, of course, as you mentioned, a softie is going to be earnings. You just said snowflake, and that sort of, sorry, you just said snow, sorry. And then that sort of reminded me of Snowflake, which, interestingly enough, and again, I'm only bringing this up because it piqued my interest when I saw this on the chart, it's been sort of hovering below this 300 level, trying to get back above its 50 period, which this 280, oddly enough, this 420 sort of top zone, that's a clear sort of 33% retracement level. So that's where this 280 works out to. This is a higher low it's trying to put in at some point. And this is, I guess, fundamentally speaking, probably one of the most overvalued stocks in terms of if you just want to look at any kind of fundamentals or valuation standpoint. But all that said, if it claws back above this 300 to 305, there's probably going to be an actionable trade to the long side. Might be some people shorting this bad boy as well to add to that party. So it's on the radar. I had taken it off my quote board. Going to add it back because maybe one of these days we're going to be looking at that 300 to 305 back above the 50, and then a nice little long trade on Snow. It's still in that downward trend, but it is starting to form a bit of a base. This was the one that was one of the craziest, I think, in the last year in terms of what we actually saw on IPO day. And it looks like it might be ready to go again.
Okay, so we talked about Snow there, and apparently our resident snowman, Randy, is outside. Let's have a quick look. There he is right there. Nice little, that's our little back alley there. It is snowing, but good thing your boy's car is underground today. So I know I parked beside Brendan there. Brendan, we're okay. We are underneath that. So I don't know what's up to my wife. I'll be coming home and shoveling pronto. And by pronto, I mean after 4.
I just messaged my guy, my wife, like, can you call it? There's like this, he's like, a neighborhood kid who's like the man when it comes to like shoveling driveways. Usually he's all over it and then you just pay him after. But either way, I'm going to make sure we get him on board because my back doesn't want to shovel today. What I do want is for this climb to continue. Like I said, I have taken a little bit more out of AMC. I still want it to get to that 495 mark. In front of 95 is the next area where I will take some profits. We'll call it like 92, 93. Just park an order there. And then if we break further, I'd like to hold some for a high of day. If it consolidates above that 95, I'd probably wait for 5 even to break to the upside. If it tests back down in 65, 70s, I would gladly take some more shares in on this one, but it looks like it's really leveled off here. I should have had this dip, but like you said, Sean, when it came down there, you couldn't have gotten 70s. I don't think, but it did get down there and probably was worth it, but I don't think you could have gotten that fill, realistically speaking.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, I took 73s.
Yeah,
and then now we take, we hammer it. So I think the biggest position today, well, this was my biggest one, but we're very large in this one again right now, running this thing up to view up if we can get it. And then, I mean, even 495 with the amount of shares I have, it would be fine for me. We'll take that one for sure. Thank you, Randy. A lot of people like that. That was very creative. So a shout out to Randy for that one. Thank you. Okay, so 84, 85, not messing around here, so we're gonna have to wait. Some love here on AMC. Market falling back down. We did ring the register, obviously, on Microsoft, our best out right there, for $1.10 on our last little piece. But look at the market falling, so let it snow. Let the market come down right here. Big time tech earnings on board tonight, guys. Brendan?
Speaking of tech, Catapult, which is going to become a stock once this merger closes. FSRV, guys, just popping up here. SPAC, 2.5% to the upside. You can see volume came in there. We tagged 18 almost at the top. Just checking on FSRV. Nothing at first glance, but heads up if you're in this stock, FSRV, guys.
Also heads up, we've talked about some of these names inevitably that are involved in some of these squeeze plays to the upside. Bed Bath & Beyond was one of them. It was a great long. It had that hard reversal. It just made a bit of a double top here at 33. If you do notice, that was a bit of a chop zone in the afternoon after the flush in Bed Bath & Beyond. This is going to be sort of an obvious momentum break through 33. I'm going to be taking it. I just put my order in now. Anytime I see it at this time session, if it takes a top off, on a name where this is a setup that I would be shorting if it wasn't for the whole squeeze factor. I've been avoiding this type of setup on these names in particular. I keep saying if I was short and I'd be getting out, some of those reverses are pretty good. So this time it'll be a long trade for me on momentum. There's this obvious sort of ridiculously choppy zone from 35 to 36. That would be my area of profit taking for sure. I would anticipate being flat in front of 36 unless absolute mania is happening on level 2 and the momentum in the stock, which I haven't seen yet. but it's certainly possible it happens. I'm probably going to take it off in front of 36 if I get this 33 long. So scalp in front of 34, 35, 36. That'd be the plan of action here, unless I see something just overwhelmingly crazy. No signs of that yet, though.
No. So, okay. AMC, we're still in that one in Palantir. We're looking for some more love there. We tried, it was an accident, actually. We didn't try anything. We did get in and out of Microsoft there. We should have held it. It was an order that I had pending near this VWAP, and then just the market moving, making the moves down. So that's an in and out for flat there on Microsoft, when I wish, obviously, looking back in hindsight, I wish that we would have held that one, because we did put a bid here ahead of VWAP. I didn't like this tank. I didn't mean to have that bid there. So if you get filled into something that you don't like, get out. So there's the advice there, even though it turned out to be a pretty nice winner. So it looks like GE broke there 50. We did not get in. There was really no levels. We talked about 45. Now I wonder if GE to the high side may work. But I was really thinking that this was a turnabout face report for them. You see this move. It looked like they were breaking back out. We talked about it breaking through $12. I thought that was a key level over here. The ultimate high, 12.05. We did take that out. These are back to February highs of last year, guys. So I thought that, that would have made some sense there, but it does not, and it comes right back into this muck again. So right back into the middle here is GE. And unfortunately, we did a 3-minute chart, but if I break this down again for you, let's go 5. Hopefully this shows it a little bit better, and I'll zoom out. Nah, it's not going back here, but there was, here we go. It's now loading. There was, now I'll miss it. There was some 1145s, 1150 areas here for some support. So, but it looks like it's crashing through that. That's why we didn't take it, guys. It just crashed through that 1150 level too hard. Let's watch GE. We did make a mistake today. We were long GE, but not anymore. Look at AMC, though, back to 87s. This was our big trade, so hot dogs right now. Let's hopefully this one keeps going upside.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I was going to hit the fireworks, but I like the hot dog cannon action, although it gives me bad memories of that Simpsons episode. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Mod. I thought we'd get a bigger, maybe a faster push to the upside on Bed Bath & Beyond, but either way, like I said, it hadn't been doing anything too crazy. It was sort of an orderly move into that top break, but it's a double top. I'll take it. I am in the long. I just noticed that Workhorse got to its top as well. I threw it in the chat, but also worth a look here, if it's even still there, because 32 had 140 or so thousand shares. It is cut in half, and cut in half pretty quickly. Workhorse looks like it's making another breakout through its high of day, which is 32, and it's chewing through a rather large order, relatively large order usually. When it does 41 million shares, these orders mean nothing. It looks big on the level too. But when these stocks are doing 100 million a day, and there was like half a dozen, maybe more names in the NASDAQ in New York that did over that volume, and these are not cheap names that are doing the volume these days, this doesn't mean anything on the level 2. It's going to chew right through that order. I don't like having multiple breakouts at once, and I actually like a bit of a dip buy in Bed Bath & Beyond, so I'd rather dig back into that one than also take Workhorse, which is up quite a bit already, guys.
All right, and look at Workhorse. Thank you to Brendan for this one. We're long 29s. We're not anymore. Hopefully you guys picked out that level. I loved the 28 level that we missed, but there's the 29. Never goes against us. I mean, it goes against us 20 cents about 30, what is this, a 1-minute chart? So let's call it 20 minutes after we got it right there. Then we get some out for a $2 winner. So that was good. A cash cow there on Workhorse. But now that $2 winner doesn't look so nice anymore when it's a $3.50 winner. So right now we go to the upside, 29 long. Congratulations, anybody has that. We talked about Workhorse and what it was doing on the daily chart. It broke the high of all time. So the all-time high, 31.30 there, gets broken, and now you're $1 from that. Look for those kind of looks, man. Like, look at this. It was $23 yesterday. Look at this 50 period. Like, how amazing is this bottom that was made there? Supported by the 50. Sure, it breaks, but you're going to give Workhorse a little bit of room. $19 back in December 31st. What a year it's been for Workhorse shareholders, up to 32 already and probably still going off some nice Joe Biden words trying to turn their whole fleet over to electric. And I know that they did have some deals there. I do remember President Trump rolled out a Workhorse truck, I believe it was, or was that Lordstown? It was one or the other, but either way, someone's going to get a big contract. Looks like it's going to be Workhorse. We've been talking about this all day, and now it's time for our guest of the day with Brendan.
right, guys, Empower Clinics is an up-and-coming integrated medical company doing amazing work in the diagnostics field through telemedicine, through physical clinics, providing all kinds of different services to patients throughout Canada and the U.S. Stephen McCauley is CEO of Empower Clinics and joins us today to have a discussion on the company. It's so great to see you, Stephen. Welcome to the show. Thanks for doing this. We appreciate your time today.
Very much. Really appreciate being on the show.
Yeah, welcome. It's an exciting idea. It's an exciting concept for those maybe unfamiliar with Empower. Why don't we start off with a little explanation on the company itself? How would you explain Empower?
Yeah, so our company is an integrated healthcare company, and we really kind of operate in two realms. One, we own medical centers both in the United States, and we made a recent acquisition in Canada to launch our footprint in the Canadian marketplace. And when I say medical clinics, what I refer to is the combination of primary care centers with paramedical services as well. Paramedical services are things like pain management, physiotherapy, chiropractic, podiatry, and other services. And then primary care is the more traditional MDs that we understand with our health and wellness. The other side of the business is our R&D, and we own a high complexity medical diagnostics laboratory in Dallas, Texas. It was an acquisition that we closed back in October, and it's been very accretive. One of the big strengths is our position in COVID-19 testing, and then more importantly, the development of new novel COVID-19 testing products that we're bringing to market. So there's really two strong divisions of our company, and we're getting quite a lot of momentum in the market and with our strong shareholder base.
So two recent acquisitions here, Stephen, to discuss. Let's actually start with the Canadian clinics. Tell us a little bit about the thought behind this as we roll into hopefully eventually a post-pandemic world. How is that going to come into play? And then we'll also touch on the Kai laboratories as well.
Sure. So the Canadian clinic acquisition just closed in the fourth quarter, actually late in December. It's a group out of Toronto area or the GTA, but we have a very aggressive rollout plan across Canada. And what we're doing is a strategy. We're partnering with other medical centers or facilities, and we kind of refer to it as clinic within a clinic. So we're bringing our business to where the patients lie today, where it's very kind of a low-cost startup for us because we're going into centers that already have patients, perhaps already have physicians in place, taking real estate there on a sublet basis and starting up quite easily and fast. We've got a plan to roll out well in excess of 30 clinics in the not too distant future across Canada, and really start to access what we think will be millions of patients going forward.
And then when we talk about the R&D, the laboratory side of things, you mentioned a couple of very exciting both products and tests. When it comes to COVID-19, let's get into the Kai Laboratories end of things.
Yeah, so Kai Medical Laboratory out of Dallas, Texas is, as I said, a high complexity CLIA certified medical diagnostics lab. We're very focused right now on COVID-19 and the various protocols. So we do the traditional gold standard, RT-PCR tests, but we've also developed different versions of that. One we refer to as the Kai ABC test. ABC standing for influenza A, influenza B, and COVID process with the same specimen. The new exciting one for us that we brought to market in December is our Kai saliva test. Now, this is a home-based RT-PCR test, but the beauty of it is that we can send it to a person at their home, send it to a business, and they collect the specimen themselves, send it to our lab for processing as an RT-PCR, and it can be provided back in that sort of 24-hour turnaround time. This is very dramatic given the recent airline announcements by the Canadian government and the US government regarding travel. So think of the concept of being able to go ahead and travel somewhere, take one of our Kai medical saliva kits with you, knowing that you have to have a negative RT-PCR test result within 72 hours of return travel. So we're helping solve this very big dilemma that's going to be with travelers for what we think will be quite a substantial amount of time.
And the exciting news here, and I'll let you talk about it, but already FDA emergency use authorization in the U.S.
Yeah, that's correct. So it's FDA, UEA, CE mark, and the manufacturer of the kit itself is actually a Canadian company that already has Health Canada approval for that. We just recently submitted for our medical device license for Canada under our parent company, Empower Clinics. That application is received. We're in dialogue with Health Canada on that application right now, and we're anticipating to get that approval in the not too distant future so that we'll be able to sell our Kai saliva kit to Canadians.
And on that note, let's talk about another product that the company has just developed as well, a direct-to-consumer platform on the web, a website, in fact, that we will be able to pick these up on.
Yeah, that's correct. We really felt because of the nature of this test with this home-based specimen collection capability that it really had a direct-to-consumer feel to it. So we are launching a site at kaitest.com. Our medical laboratory is called Kai Medical, so KAI. And we believe that that's going to be one of the most efficient ways to get our products distributed to the markets both in US and in Canada. The site is being built, is anticipated to launch just in early February. We just had to place another inventory order for 25,000 units that is starting to arrive this week with our fulfillment partner. So we believe that we're going to be able to handle some important new orders coming in from this method or this platform as we kind of move further into the first quarter.
Now, when it comes to diagnostics, let's talk about the laboratory end of things in the US. When it comes to processing some of these tests, how is the company involved?
Well, the lab itself actually is the processor. So we have a team of scientists. We have nearly $2 million of high quality diagnostics equipment in the lab. And it's our ultimate job to actually process the specimens and provide that result, whether it's negative or positive, to the consumer. That's provided through our lab information system, through secure email link, or through secure web link, or sorry, secure text message link. And the lab itself has the capacity today to process 4,000 COVID specimens per day. We're going through a big expansion because our demand is so high at the moment. We've gone ahead and invested in adding new scientists, new staff. We're expanding the space in the lab to actually more than double the size of the lab, simply because we need to be able to handle the logistics of processing literally thousands of specimens per day.
Stephen McCauley, CEO of Empower Clinics, joining us today. Stephen, when it comes to, we all are very focused on COVID-19 right now, and anyone who has been affected indirectly or directly is obviously very conscious of that. But thinking down the road here, once we get past this pandemic, talk a little bit about some of the products that might be coming from the R&D work from the Kai Laboratories.
Yeah, so we are going to continue with one of our strengths, which is R&D, and there may be. We anticipate there's going to be, a world post-pandemic in some form or fashion. We have diagnostic equipment that's able to handle, traditional specimens processing such as blood or hormone or toxicology and others. We see products such as men's health, women's health that can be delivered in the same fashion as direct-to-consumer. If the pandemic has taught us anything, is that the healthcare paradigm and how healthcare is delivered to all of us is changing, and we think changing forever. The virtual care, telemedicine, something that's very important to us, or even just sort of fast-tracking many specimens that might be requested through the old traditional methods through your MD. Much of this going forward can be done at home, taking more responsibility for your own health and your own health care. So you'll see us looking to bring more direct-to-consumer specimen collection or test products through kaitest.com going forward.
And something that's not necessarily new technology and has been around for quite some time now, telemedicine. I think it's important to understand, or that the viewers understand, in a time like this, when we're all supposed to be staying in our homes, something as simple as telemedicine is very important.
Yeah, it has. And it's the concept of virtual care. So the pandemic, again, is showing that the healthcare system had to evolve. The way that we take care of our own healthcare had to evolve. So we're seeing many of the old traditional methods of getting prescriptions refilled, as an example, can now successfully be completed through a teleconference, through a phone call that is kind of speeding up the supply chain of healthcare. And we think that's an incredibly positive move forward. We've been involved in telemedicine for more than 2 years in our clinics in the United States. We're very focused on technology and how technology will impact the delivery of care going forward, whether that's using artificial intelligence to bring more knowledge base to the physicians when they're actually consulting with their patients, or it's using artificial intelligence to analyze our data. We have millions of data points given the large patient base that we already have, which now is in excess of 200,000 patients. But with the rapid rollout that's coming in our Canadian market, we expect to exceed millions of patients going forward in the years ahead.
So CBDT, guys, traded here on the Canadian Securities Exchange, EPWCF, the ticker if you want to check it out on the OTC markets down in the US. Going forward, Stephen, when it comes to important dates maybe that investors might want to keep in mind, what's next for Empower?
Well, I think the things that are coming next, which are sort of imminent, are really the next announcements related to our Canadian clinic acquisition. I think that our progress with our what we call the MDEL application, the medical device application in Canada, I think is going to be an important milestone. The upcoming launch of our kaitest.com, again, another key milestone. And I think you will see, or the market should see from us over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, some of these important milestones actually coming to fruition, setting the stage for a very strong first quarter, but also a very strong, sustained top-line revenue growth with strong cash flow. I think the one thing to keep in mind for all the shareholders is that our business fundamentals are very strong. I'm very concerned about steady and aggressive revenue growth, but we're a cash flow business. Our medical laboratory at Kai, frankly, are doing tremendously well right now. The Canadian clinic structure with primary care and paramedical combined throws off very nice top line, and I always try to run these on an individual basis as an EBITDA positive clinic. I like to see clinics stand on their own, pay for themselves, and contribute to our shareholder value going forward.
Stephen McCauley, CEO of Empower Clinics. Check them out, guys, at empowerclinics.com. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
There we go, guys. A little bit of a look at a very, very busy and important sector right now, and specifically Empower Clinics doing great work when it comes to both the diagnostic side of things on the COVID scale and also in long-term clinics, care clinics, as Stephen was describing for us, guys.
Absolutely. A trade here of the CSC, also the OTC markets did have it at the bottom. Always a fantastic interview. It's good to learn about new spaces. It's all about education around here. Only a couple of minutes to go. I know we already talked about it several times here. We know Microsoft earnings coming up and a lot of big ones. Tomorrow's Wednesday, of course, after the market
we're in GameStop
on Wednesday.
here.
GameStop, sorry, what was that?
Yeah, I just got in now, so okay. I haven't been in all day, so you were a little talking about it right there. I just want to let people know I'm in GameStop. Let's go. Go ahead, sorry.
Wow, that touched off 80 again? Okay, so there was that bottom push on GameStop. This is the third time, including the pre-market, where it's actually bottomed off 80 even. The fact that it cannot break that level might actually mean something. I think it has to get through 95. And I talked about that 91 chop zone before. I'm going to necessarily get involved, but either way, there's only about a minute and a half to go. The last position that I have on, I got that Foon through that 2 even, so I'm hanging on to that one to the downside the second time I'm in it. And of course, AMC is still going. I think Sean and I should still both be in. I can't, there, yeah, I see the positions. Even though it pulled back, it didn't get to that 70. I don't know, should have just maybe taken 75. It did have resistance to that 95, which is my next area to get out. As we mentioned, some earnings are upcoming. One of them is Microsoft. The last thing I want to leave here, because I hate ever missing out on it, watch out for Tesla. It is making a bit of a top around here, that 888 area, this 890. It's just sort of geared up. In the afternoon, it leveled off and had this really, really tight range before having a nice breakout trade. I think it's going to possibly do it again, so just watch out for Tesla in the afternoon. But to talk about the upcoming earnings, let's go to Brendan.
Yeah, guys, we'll have a look at what's coming up either after market tonight or before the open tomorrow. Keep in mind, after market tomorrow, we're going to talk about it during the show, I can imagine. Big names, some of the biggest, in fact. But let's have a look, guys, at what's coming up. Again, after market tonight or before the open tomorrow. Some big names on here as well.
Yeah, some Starbucks. Oh, okay, there's my advanced micro devices right in the middle there. That's the one I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to be looking at a $100 break on AMD on good news. Hopefully that can spark a little bit of movement in AMD. And everybody knows. Yeah, there's Microsoft. I love Microsoft and Starbucks. Big shout out to Miss V.
Yeah, in honor of
hopefully,
Valeria.
Yeah, hopefully finding one there in Russia.
I don't know. Maybe we should be shorting them because she's not getting her like $1 million order from them every single day. But look, Starbucks is going to be worth a look. It's been a little bit sleepy, but sometimes sleeping dogs here. If you get a chance bouncing off that 100 level at any point, it could be worth an interesting look on Starbucks. It's been another interesting day in the markets. The story I don't think is going to be done in some of these names, these short sell names, I think, or squeeze names. So whether it's GameStop, whether it's AMC, BlackBerry was actually a good one today. You got to keep your ear to the ground there. I think Tesla's primed for a bit of a move in the afternoon. For the entire team, for Ms. V's Padawan, who he's over at his trading desk now, but doing a fantastic job. Thank you a lot, Prad, for stepping in. For Ms. V herself, from my man Sean Katina in the plaid today, which I usually reference, didn't yet. For Brendan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.